All right, I'm here with another video. So this is another Addmaths paper, and today we will do the SBP Addmaths paper. So this is the Sekolah Asrama Penuh Trial 2024 Addmaths Kertas 1. Okay, okay, let's start. Okay, this is question number 1. Okay, let's read the question. Diagram 1 shows vector OQ is A, vector OP is B. Let's label this. OQ is A, OP is B. Okay, so they already labeled for me. On a square grid of sides 1 unit. So these are all square and it's all 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. Okay, so expressed in terms of A and B, the A they want to find vector OR. Okay, this type of questions, there is two methods to do it. Okay, so let me just show you the common method. Okay, the common method is like what most people will do it. So most of you will do it like this, right? You will go to O and you will go to R and you try to figure out how many A plus how many B, right? Because you already so it's like you don't know how many A plus how many B, right? So that's why you will try to go you want to go from O to R. So what most of you will do is you will go and try to you try to guess lah how many A, how many B, and you can use your, how to say, you can refer to your vector A, vector B, right? So let's say one A, you can go from here to here, right? And then what if you go one B? So you can see B is like this, right? The vector B goes this way, right? And the distance is uh like this, right? 2, 1. So if I go like that, 2, 1, it will reach here, right? So if I go like that, this is 1B, right? And then what you can do, if I go B again, then it will reach here already, right? But okay, it's good lah because if I reach here, if I do B again, I'll reach here, okay? Because vector B is in this direction, right? So I will reach here, but then I want to go to R, so I will do one more vector A lah, because vector A is like this senget senget one kotak. So when you do that, you will sampai already, right? So the answer is from O to R, you have to go A plus B plus B plus A, which is 2A plus 2B. So the answer here is 2A plus 2B, and that's all. That's the answer. Okay. Okay, but I want to show you another method, right? I want to show you another method. So let me show you another method. So I will erase all this. Okay, if you want to do it like this, you can do it another way. So the other method looks like this. You change everything to coordinate vector. You change everything to coordinate vector. So for example, OQ, this is vector A, right? You change it to coordinate vector. It means you change it to ij, right? Do you remember coordinate vector? You change it to this form, xi plus yj, right? But you need to know that the I is for gerakan yang kiri kanan, J is for gerakan yang atas bawah. So for example, OQA, you can see that O to Q is actually one horizontal and then one vertical. And the horizontal is to the right. So ke kanan means the X will be positive. So it will be positive 1I plus YJ. Y is go up 1 unit. So go up is positive also. So I plus J. Right? And you do the same thing for OP vector. So OP vector is B. And you can see B vector is right. Count horizontal first. So horizontal is 2 unit and then go up 1 unit. So if you go to the left, it has to be negative 2I and then plus 1J. Okay. Oh, by the way, if you want to write like this in the bracket form also can. Because for ij punya vector, you can change it to like this, right? So if you write in bracket, you look like this, 1, 1. This one is negative 2, 1, like that, right? Okay, after you change it to coordinate vector, you see what the question wants. O to R, right? So O to R also, you change it to ij also. So you can see O to R is how many unit? 2 to the left, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 left, and then go up 4. So it's negative 2I because it's to the left, and then plus 4J, right? And since I'm trying to find, because I want to convert this so that it becomes in terms of AB, right? So I will write this as something A plus something B. Okay, something A plus something B, because I want to know in terms of A and B, right? And for this uh two numbers, since I don't know, I will just call it M and N for now. Okay, and I will try to find the MN later. Okay, because I don't know what's my MN, right? And then so this is OR, and then I will try to ganti masuk the vector A here, because I already know vector A is I plus J, vector B is this one, right? So I just sub inside here, right? And when I sub inside here, it will look like this: M bracket plus N bracket, like this. And then the vector A in ij form is this I plus j. And then vector B in ij form is negative 2I plus j, right? And on this side, you will write the vector, you write the answer lah. You write the answer, which is vector OR in ij, in this form ij, which is negative 2I plus 4j. After you reach here, now you can, okay, this is the answer. Negative 2I plus 4j is the answer, so don't do anything. This one, you can expand everything, and then later you can compare. Later you can compare. And don't forget, your mn is the answer. You're trying to find mn. So when you expand, you get mi plus mj. And then this one, when you expand, okay, the plus become minus already. And then 2ni plus 2 plus nj, sorry. Okay. And of course, you want to compare, right? So on the left side, you have single I, single j. But on the right side, it's not single I, single j. So how to make it single I, single j? You can factorize. So this I and this I, when you factorize, you left with m minus 2n. And then the j also you can factorize. So when you factorize, you left with m plus n. Okay. Okay, now you can write negative 2I plus 4j here. Now you can compare. So when you compare both sides, you will compare I with I, j with j. So the I coefficient is negative 2. The I coefficient here is m minus 2n. So when you connect them together, m minus 2n equals negative 2. The other one, j coefficient is 4. The j coefficient is m plus n. When you connect them, m plus n equals 4. Now you can find mn, just do simultaneous. So if I am you, I will find m here. I will do substitution method. The penggantian cara. So the negative 2, I'll move here, become 2n, and then minus 2, and then sub inside 2n minus 2 plus n equals 4. 2n plus n is 3n. Negative 2 move here, become 4 plus 2, 6. So n equals to 6 divided 3, which is 2. And then sub back inside here, m equals 2 bracket minus 2. The n is 2, right? So like this. So 2 times 2, 4. 4 minus 2 is, it means that m is 2, n is 2. And kenapa you cari mn? Because m and n is the coefficient of a and b. So now you know what is vector OR? MA plus NB, right? And the MN you get 2 and 2. So the answer is 2A plus 2B. And you can see this answer is same with the same with my answer here. All right. It means that if you do it like this, can also, right? But it's only worth 1 marks, right? This question is only worth 1 marks. So uh I think if you do it like this, can also lah. All right. But I want to show you this other method, because this other method sometimes it can be helpful, right? It can be helpful because sometimes maybe you can't figure out how to reach there, right? Then maybe you can do it like this, right? Yeah, it can help you also. That's why I mentioned it like this lah. Okay, let's talk about B now. B, they want to find RS. So RS vector is go from here to here, right? So you can use this method, or you can use the other method I show you, right? So if you want to go from R to S, how many A plus how many B? You don't know, right? So let me show you using this method lah. Because not many people know this method, right? Everyone knows the method yang kena, how to say, you have to figure out how many A, how many B, right? So, but not many people know this, so I'll just do it using this. So I'll just write RS, and since I don't know how many A, how many B, I'll just call it JK lah. So it'll be like something A plus something B, right? But the something something I don't know ma. So I just call it JK for now lah. You can call it whatever alphabet you want lah. You want to call it XY or whatever, like just put any alphabet. Or you want to call it lambda, mu lambda, can also. Okay, after I write down this, I will change everything to coordinate vector. So change to coordinate vector, change to coordinate vector, change to coordinate vector like this. So RS is how many I, how many J. So you can see it from here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So go 8 to the right, and then go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 to the right means 8i. So 8, 4 to bawah, 4 go down means negative 4. So it's 8i minus 4j, right? Okay, you realize that now I never write in ij, right? I write in bracket. Okay, but it's the same thing lah. Okay, for vector A, I already covered just now in ij is 1i plus 1j. But if I write in bracket form, it will look like this lah. And then for B is negative 2, 1. Okay, actually it's the same thing. When I write in bracket, it's the same as the ij one. It's the same thing. Okay, so now what you do? Same like just now lah. The 8 negative 4 will be the answer. So don't do anything. You want just leave it. And then for the other side, you will expand. After you expand, you will compare later. So let's do it. J times 1, J times 1, JJ. Again, this one is negative 2K, and then 1 times K is K. And then atas tambah atas, bawah tambah bawah. So you get J minus 2K, and then J plus K. And now it's time to compare. And when you compare, you will compare I with I, J with J. But this one I write in bracket form. So you just compare atas with atas, bawah with bawah lah. So 8 equals J minus 2K, and then the other one is negative 4 equals j plus k. And now you can do simultaneous. So what I'll do is I'll find j, right? So I try to jadikan j single, just pindah like this, it become 8 plus 2k, and then substitute this whole thing here lah. Okay, because that's how you do simultaneous. I'm using the substitution method again. So negative 4 equals to j plus k. So the j is 8 plus 2k. So just write 8 plus 2k and then plus k. Okay, 2k plus k, 3k. 8 move here become minus 8. Negative 4 minus 8, negative 12. So k equals negative 4. So now the k negative 4 you can sub back inside. 8 plus 2 bracket negative 4 equals to j. So j equals to 8 minus 8, which is 0. Right? So after you get your jk, you should sub back inside here, right? When you sub back, you get the answer already lah. So dot 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 rs vector equals to ja plus kb, which is j is 0 ma. So 0a plus k, which is minus 4b like this. Okay. So the final answer is negative 4b lah. The 0a no need to write because 0a is 0 lah. 0a. So let's check using the other method and see betul tak. Rs is negative 4b. So let's use red color. So Rs is negative 4b. Is it true? Okay, 1b is like this, but it's in this direction, right? But Rs is going at the opposite direction, right? So I think I have to do negative b, right? So like this is negative 1b, right? From here to here is negative 1b. And then from here to here is negative 2b. And then negative 3b. And then negative 4b. So you can see it really matched with the answer, right? So you really get negative 4b. It means R to S, you have to perform negative b vector 4 times. Negative 1b, 2b, 3b, 4b, right? Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, I know most of you will just do it the easy way, right? Like just write it because it's only worth 1 marks. But I want to show you something different. I want to make sure you learn something like I think it's useful lah. This method is useful. Yeah, it can be useful in certain case also, right? Sometimes it's too difficult. When it's too difficult to figure out how many A, how many B, you can do it like this, right? And if you do it like this, you don't have to guess. That's the good thing about this method. You don't have to guess. Like you don't have to do it like the first method. You have to spend time thinking about it. This method, if you do it, automatic, you will get the accurate answer, right? So I think this method is useful. So that's why I teach using this method. Okay, but both method works lah, and it's only worth 1 mark. So yeah, you can do it either way you want. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, I want to do number 2 now. So this is a linear law question, right? Okay, diagram 2a shows the curve y equals negative 2x squared plus 4. Okay. Diagram 2b shows the straight line graph obtained when y equals negative 2x plus 4 is expressed in a linear form. Big Y equals to 4 big X plus C. Okay, look at the Y-axis here. They use small y, small x, right? It means this is the actual Y-axis. The Y-axis is Y and the X-axis is X. But if you look at this, they use big Y, big X. If they use big Y, big X means it means that the Y-axis, they don't want to tell you. It means that the Y-axis for this graph, I don't know. I don't know. That's why they use big Y. So this big Y, it can be anything. It can be log Y, it can be Y square, it can be Y square over X, it can be like no one knows. Okay, so if they use big capital letter means they don't want to tell you. It means we don't know the big Y, the new Y axis, and the big X also means that we don't know the X axis, right? But it's okay because we do know that this is actually this come from this equation, right? So all we need to do is just change this equation to linear form, then we will end up here, right? But I noticed something. They actually give me the gradient. Y equals mx plus c. They actually give me the gradient, which is 4, right? Okay, so later maybe we can use that to help us. Okay, so soalan A says express x and y in terms of x and y. Okay, so let's write down. So I think I have to change this equation to linear form. So small y equals to negative 2x squared plus 4. So can you tell me how can I change this to linear form? Walaupun saya tak tahu saya punya y-axis, x-axis, but I do know the gradient must be 4, right? I want to change this to y equals mx plus c, but I want the m to be 4 because that's the only guide we have, right? The big what the y-axis for the straight line I don't know. The x-axis for the straight line I don't know. The y-intercept, okay, actually I know the y-intercept is negative 2, right? So the y-intercept must so we can use this to guide us change to linear form. So how can we change this to linear form if we want our gradient to be 4? The y-intercept is negative 2. So it's very obvious. Actually, you have to divide by x squared because this is the only way. When you divide by x squared, then only the negative 2x squared will become negative 2. And then the negative 2 later you can write at last kali. And when you write last kali, then your c will be negative 2 already. Okay. And let me show you what happens when you divide x squared. So it becomes y over x squared. So when you divide by x squared, you will get -2 here, right? Because when you divide x squared, potong ni lah. And then this one, it becomes 4 over x squared. Okay, and kenapa saya buat macam tu? So that I can susun jadi linear form lah. Y equals mx plus c. But when you susun, you have to write 4 over x squared first. But when I write, I will write it differently. I'll write it like this: 4 bracket 1 over x squared. Okay, because y equals mx plus c mah. So you want the m and x to be separate. You kena asingkan you punya mx. You tak boleh tulis. You tak boleh jumble up together. If you jumble up together, later you cannot see which one is your gradient. Okay, and then the -2 you write here. So now it's already linear form. You can see this one, it match with this. Can you see? Big Y, that's the y over x squared lah. And then 4, you see, 4 is the gradient. And then big X is the 1 over x squared. And then the plus C, which is -2, is -2. So you can see it's perfect, right? It's perfect. So it really matched with what they want here. So big Y equals mx plus C. So now we already know what's the big Y and the big X. So the big Y is actually y over x squared, and the big X is actually 1 over x squared. So now we can answer question A, express big X and big Y in terms of small x and small y. So what is the big Y and the big X? So the big Y is the y over x squared lah. And then the big X is 1 over x squared lah. And that is the answer. Okay, that's the answer. And that's all. Okay, so hope you understand. Oh, let me mention something. Why not you straight away write y equals mx plus c like this? Because this one, you can see that the y-axis can be y, the x-axis can be x squared, the gradient is -2, the c is 4, right? So actually, this can be Thoreau's linear form also, right? It's just that your y-axis will be y, and your x-axis will be x squared. But why this one is wrong? It's because they already said here, they want the gradient to be 4. So if you do it like this, the gradient is not 4, it's -2. So it doesn't match with what they want here. And we cannot compare if we do it like this, right? We cannot compare. So the only correct way here is to divide by x squared. Because when you divide by x squared, you will end up with the linear form. You will have the gradient 4 lah. You will end up with something. You will end up with gradient 4 y-intercept -2. Then it's like you can compare already. And when you compare everything, and then you get your y-axis, x-axis lah. Okay, I think I explained enough already. So now let's do B. Find the gradient of graph in diagram 2B. So they want to find gradient of this. The answer is 4 lah. The answer is 4 lah. Right? Because the gradient of this line is 4 mah. It's written in the linear form equation already. Okay, so nothing much to explain here. Okay, that's all. Okay, let's do number 3. Okay, this is progression. Yeah, because I see this word already. So from 4 chapter, the Janjang punya chapter. So when we do progression, we always want to know whether it's arithmetic or geometric first, right? Okay, because we don't want to use the wrong formula, right? If it's arithmetic AP, we have to use the AP formula. If GP, we have to use GP formula. So let's read. 3 consecutive. Okay, this word is very important. What is consecutive? Berterusan ataupun berturutan. Berturutan means it's continuous. So for example, 57, 58, 59. This one is consecutive, right? Or like 5, 6, 7. Contoh macam ni. So it's consecutive, right? So it's like 3 consecutive means like dia berturutan lah. Okay, so 3 consecutive terms of an arithmetic progression. So it's AP, P, Q, and R. State the relation between P, Q, and R. So if these 3 terms is consecutive, it means the common difference here and here will be the same, right? It means kalau sini tambah berapa, sini pun tambah berapa, right? Okay, so it means if I take Q minus P, if I take the difference here, Q minus P, it will be the same with R minus Q, right? So Q minus P, the common difference is same lah. Q minus P equals to R minus Q because they are consecutive. They are consecutive terms of arithmetic progression. That's why you can do it like this, right? Okay. The question never says P in terms of QR or Q in terms of PR. They never say they want siapa nak jadi subject, right? They never mention, they never request to make any P the subject or Q subject or R subject. So I think you can just arrange however you want. But I did notice that the Q and Q boleh buat. So let's do it. The minus Q I'll move here, become plus Q, so it becomes 2Q minus P equals R. So I think this is already, you cannot simplify this further already. So I think this is the answer already, right? And I repeat one more time, the question never says, they never want you to make P single or Q single or R single. They never say that. They just want to state the relation between PQR. So I think you can just arrange however you want. So I'll just write it like this, right? Okay, so that's done already. So this is the relation between PQR lah. Okay, this is the equation that show you the PQR punya relationship. Okay, like this, right? No need to pindah anything. Okay, B. The first three positive terms of geometric progression are this, this, and this. So x minus 4, bracket x, bracket 5x minus 12. So they already said the first three positive, right? So later the x will be bigger than 0. And then they already said geometric. It means that the common ratio should be the same. It means from here to here, if you times something, here also you have to times the same thing, same number. So okay, from here to here I have to times something, here to here also you will times with the same number. Okay, because it's a geometric progression, right? Okay, find the value of x. So you will use the same method you used in A just now. But in A just now you minus, right? But this one you have to divide. You have to divide. How to divide? Take the last term, divide the middle term, equals to the middle term, divide the first term. So it becomes like this, 5x minus 12, divide the middle term. Okay, walaupun saya tak tahu x, tapi saya tahu when I take this one, divide this one, you will get same with the x over x minus 4 like this. Alright. Okay, what if I take x over x minus 4 equals to 5x minus 12 divide x? Can also lah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So it's just like A, right? It's just that tadi A you minus, sekarang you divide. Yeah, because A is arithmetic mah, so you minus lah. B geometric, you kena bahagi, you have to divide. Okay, now you can cross multiply. Because you have something over something equals something over something. It means you have single fraction on both sides. You can perform the darab silang. So when you perform the darab silang, dia jadi apa? Dia jadi 5x minus 12 multiply with x minus 4 equals to x multiply x is x square. Okay, how to times this one? How to darab? So the correct way is you take 5x times x, 5x square, 5x times negative 4, negative 20x, negative 12 times x, negative 12x, negative 12 times negative 4, positive 48. And then equals x square. You can use your calculator to help you. Okay, after you reach here, you can see that your equation other x square, other square, right? So when other square means this is a quadratic equation. When it's a quadratic equation, you should move everything to one side and then equals 0. Because you want to use your calculator, you want it to be in general form. So that you boleh nampak you punya ABC and you put in your calculator nanti. Okay, so the x square and x square boleh buat. Plus 1 pindah jadi minus 1. So dia jadi 4x square. And then minus 20 minus 12 is minus 32x plus 48. Just right. Okay, before you use calculator and tekan the ABC, you check first. Your ABC now, they all can divide by 4, right? They all can kecilkan. So if you can simplify, you should simplify this. It divide by 4. Divide by 4 is negative 8. Divide by 4 here is 12. And then after you sampai sini, baru you tekan calculator. And if you tekan, you will get two answer. 2 and 6. Okay. And don't forget, you have to write this baris here, the bracket. Inside the bracket, you have to pindah balik. So x equals to 2, right? So the 2, when you pindah balik, it means you pindah in reverse lah. So when you reverse the process, you become x minus 2. This one, same thing. If you reverse the process, you reverse pindah balik, become x minus 6, right? And this is your answer, right? So they said, what? The first three positive terms of geometric progression is this, find value of x. So can we reject the answer? Okay, yeah, I think I should reject the 2. Yeah, I think I should reject the 2. You know why? Because they already mentioned first three positive terms, right? So imagine if x is 2. It means that the first term will be 2 minus 4, right? Because x is 2. And you will get negative 2. And doesn't make sense already because they said already these three terms are positive. So I think I have to reject the x equals 2 answer. So the only answer that makes sense here is 6. Because when you sub 6 inside, you will get 3 positive numbers, right? You can try 6 minus 4, 2, yeah, positive. X is 6, so yeah, positive. 5 times 6, 30 minus 12, 18, so positive also, right? But if you use 2, you get 1 negative value here, right? And also if you sub 2 inside here also, you get negative because 10 minus 12 negative also, right? Okay, so that's how you do it, right? Okay, sudah siap. Let's do number 4. Diagram 3 shows part of curve y equals 12 over x square. Okay, I think this is integration question. Yeah, integration. So they give you curve here 1, 3, P5, ABC. Okay, A, they says find area of region A. So yeah, this is integration question from 5 chapter 3. Pengameran. Pengameran. So how to find area using integration method? Very easy because they want to find area of region A. So let's look at region A. This is region A, right? So as you can see, the area, the area A is in between the curve and the x-axis, right? And if it's already like this, you can straight away integrate the curve, but the limit will be from 1 to 3 lah. Okay, but make sure when you integrate, make sure the area, the region is in between the curve and the x-axis, or it can be in between curve and y-axis also. But you have to make sure the line is memang straight one. Yeah, these two lines must be straight. Okay, then only you can integrate. If the line is like one of the line is sengit one, then you have to pecahkan your working already. You have to how to say take something plus something or something minus something like that. Okay, but if this two line is straight, then you can straight away integrate. So I'll just write here area of A. So you'll be integrate. Okay, this one you integrate. This region is in between curve and x-axis. It means you will integrate towards the x-axis. So it will be dx here. And if this is dx, this is automatic y one, right? Yeah, the area formula is like this. It's either integrate y dx or tapi kalau sini dy, then this will be x, right? Okay, but I will always teach my student to write the dx dy dulu. And then baru you automatic tahu what's inside here. Okay, so this is y, and what will be the limit? It will be from 1 to 3, right? So the small number have to letak bawah, the big number have to letak atas, right? Okay, for the y, I can just erase and put in the curve equation, 12 over x squared. But I know later I have to integrate. So when other x dekat bawah, you tak boleh integrate tau. So why not you straight away pindah naik atas sekarang. So naik atas jadi macam ni. Okay, now I can start to integrate. When I start to integrate, I don't have to write this symbol anymore. Straight away, open the bracket. Okay, how to integrate? Take the power plus 1. So it becomes 12x. Power negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Divide with the new power, negative 1. Okay, this is how you integrate. And then tutup bracket. And then the 3, 1 you have to write here. Okay. Okay, later you have to take the 3 and 1 sub inside the x here. But don't sub first because you can simplify. So if you can simplify inside the bracket, you simplify first. Okay, kalau boleh simplify, simplify dulu. It's better to simplify first. So the 12 divide negative 1, you boleh buat mah. 12 divide negative 1 is negative 12. And then the x power negative 1, the power is negative, right? So how can we make it power positive? You can letak bawah. When you letak bawah, it becomes power positive. So this is how it looks like after you simplify. Now you sub inside. Now you sub inside. Because now when you sub inside, it will be much more easier compared to if you sub inside this one, right? This one, the power is negative, right? But now I already make it look nice already. So now I can sub 3 inside and then sub 1 inside. And then in the middle, I have to minus. Okay, when you sub 3 inside, negative 12, you add 3, negative 4. When you sub 1, negative 12, you add negative 12. Negative 4 minus jadi plus. So negative 4 plus 12 is 8. Okay, so the answer is 8 units square. Okay, that's the area here, 8. Okay, let's do B. Find the value of P. Okay, I think it's referring to this P, right? So actually, we don't know the value of P, but then they say such that region B and C have the same area. So I think I will also use integration. Okay, so I write my working here. So they already said area of B and area of C, same area, right? But later, when I do integration, I will get stuck. Why? Because I don't have the value of P, right? And you need the value of P to find area of B and C. Yeah, because P is like one of the limit. Okay, because area of B is from 3 to P, but we don't have this, right? But it's okay. Because later here also don't have. The other side also don't have, right? But later you can pindah. Right? You can pindah. It means I don't have P, but you still can find P later. Okay, I'll show you now. So area of B like this. Okay, so integrate. Okay, for B, it will be integrate towards x-axis also because this is the curve and the region B is here, which is in between the curve and the x-axis. And same thing, this two line is already straight. It's not a sengit line. So you can straight away integrate towards dx. Towards x-axis means dx. And here automatic will be y. So the y let automatic, I straight away put the equation of curve. And then the limit will be from 3 to p. Okay, 3 have to write down here. P have to write atas. Why? Because p is a bigger number. How I know p is bigger? Because it's further away from the 0. 3 lebih dekat dengan kosong. So mesti 3 lebih kecil kan. P lebih jauh berbanding dengan 3. Right? P is further away from the 0. So P will be automatic bigger. So this is how you do the area of B. And then, of course, you have to equals to the area of C. And for the area of C, you will also integrate towards x-axis dx. And here also, you put in the curve equation because the region is in between curve and x-axis. And then the limit will be P to 5. But this time, the P letak bawah already. Why? Because, because P is a smaller number. 5 is the big number this time. Okay, because 5 is further away from the 0. Okay, now you can start to integrate both sides. Right? But sir, I don't have the P, how? It's okay, it's okay. You just integrate macam biasa saja. So 12x power negative 2, it becomes 12x power negative 1 or negative 1, sama macam tadi. And then P3, and then sub P inside, right? But wait, simplify dalam dulu. So when you simplify dalam, you get this, right? I mean, you can just deduce from here lah. Just now you do already. Okay, but now you have to sub P and 3. Okay, when you sub P, you will get something. When you sub 3, you get something. And then you have to minus, right? Okay, what happens when you sub P? Negative 12 over P. When you sub 3, negative 12, you usually negative 4, right? And then minus 4, it becomes plus 4. So negative 12 over P plus 4. Okay, so let me erase this. Okay, so later this one continue here. Okay, so now I will do on the other side. So the other side, I have to find area of C. So I'll do very fast lah because it's the same thing, right? So 12x power negative 1 over negative 1, and then 5p, and then this one is becomes negative 12 over x, and then 5p. Okay, now it starts getting different already because you start to sub 5 and then sub p and then minus, right? Okay, sub 5 is negative 12 over 5, sub p is negative 12 over p, and then I continue here. Negative 12 over 5 I tulis je. And then the minus minus become plus 12 over P, right? Okay, now you can find P, right? But you have to pindah a bit lah. Okay, so how? Okay, I can see this 12 over P, this one is negative 12 over P. So I can, dia boleh buat kan? Ya, dia boleh buat. Because the denominator sudah sama. Okay, dia punya penyebut, dia punya pembawah sudah sama. So kalau dia punya bawah sudah sama, dia boleh buat sekali. But you have to make it on the same side. So what I will do to make it positive, I will pindah the negative 12 OP ke sini. So dia akan jadi 12 OP, and then minus 12 OP pindah jadi plus 12 OP. And then later bawah sudah sama mah. So kalau bawah sudah sama, atas boleh tambah atas. So dapat 24 OP. And then what about on the other side? Okay, the other side, ini number dengan number boleh buat juga. So the minus 12 over 5, I pindah here become plus. So become 4 plus 12 over 5. And then use calculator, you get 32 over 5. And then you darab sidang. And then you darab sidang because you have something over something equals something over something. So single fraction on both sides, you can perform the cross multiplication. Cross multiply lah. Darab sidang. So, and also your P duduk bawah. So you should do cross multiply. So 32 times P is 32P. 5 times 24. You press calculator. And then you will get, let me press. Okay, my calculator give me 120. And then the last step is 120 divide 32. So they give 15 over 4. So the P answer is 15 over 4. Okay, you want to write in decimal, can also. So what is 15 over 4 in decimal? Okay, wait for me. Let me check with the calculator. 3.75. Yeah. So you nak tulis macam ni pun boleh, nak tulis macam ni pun boleh. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, so make sense. P is 3.75. Make sense. Because this is 3 mah. So this number must be in between 3 and 5. So yeah, logic lah. So my answer makes sense. So this is how you do it. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's continue. Number 5. Okay, this is a function question. And it's an inverse function question because I saw f inverse already. Okay, let's read. Given that the function fx equals to 4x plus a over 5, and then f inverse x is bx plus 14 over 8, such that a and b are constants. A1 says find the value of a and b. Okay, let me just ask you a question. Can I straight away say b equals to 4, a equals to 14? Can I do that? Let me ask you. Can I straight away do like that? Mesti cannot lah. Mesti cannot lah. Ini fx, ini f inverse x. Mana sama? Ini tak sama mah. Satu fx, satu f inverse, mana boleh compare, mana boleh sama dengan, right? And also tengok the denominator. It's not over 5 over 8. It's not even the same, right? So fx and f inverse tak boleh sama dengan, right? So what we can do? We can find the f inverse for this first, right? After you find, okay, it means you start from fx and then cari f inverse x. After you get your f inverse x, then only you compare with this. Then only you banding dengan f inverse x ini. Then you can find your AB lah. Okay, so let's do it now. So I will write here. So number 1. Okay, first I will start from fx here. 4x plus a over 5. And I will ignore this for now. The f inverse x I will ignore now. Okay, because now is useless. Okay, now is useless. Because I'm trying to find my own f inverse x, right? After I get my own f inverse x, then only this thing will become useful. Because after I get my f inverse, then only I will compare with this answer, right? Okay, how to get my own f inverse x? So the method I use is I will let both sides equals to y. So I will let fx equals to y, and then the other side also equals to y. The whole thing on the other side, like this equals to y, right? And then both sides I will find x. So when I find x here, my x, okay, this f you can pindah sana. When you move there, it become f inverse. Yeah, f pindah jadi f inverse. It means your x is actually the f inverse y. So it means I will find x from here also lah. So how to find x from here? First you pindah the 5, so it becomes 5y. and then pindah the plus A jadi minus A. And don't forget you're trying to find X. Okay, why you are trying to find X? Because X is your F inverse Y. Okay, and you're trying to find F inverse Y. Okay, so X equals to what? 5y minus A over 4, right? But don't forget X is the F inverse Y. So the F inverse Y is 5y minus A over 4, right? But they want F inverse X. So how? Okay, very simple. Just change the Y to X. So I've just write here F inverse X equals to 5x minus A over 4. Now we can compare this with the F inverse yang the soalan bagi. So when you compare, what happens? Okay, I'll write it here. 5x minus A over 4, dia boleh terus equal this thing. Bx plus 14 over 8. Yeah. Kenapa dia boleh sama dengan? Kenapa dua-dua ni boleh sama dengan? Sebab they are both F inverse X. So they both can equal. They both can sama dengan. So how to compare? I want to ask you something. Can I say B equals to 5, negative A equals to 14? Can I do that? Actually, the answer is no. Let me tell you why. Because if you look at the denominator, tengok bawah dia, sini over 4, sini over 8. Right? Sini over 4, sini over 8. So the number bawah sini tak sama tau. Okay? So what we should do is we have to take the left side here times 2 first. Okay. Okay, let me ask you something. 3 over 7, if I don't like this number, I don't like the 7, I want to times 2. Boleh macam ni? Can I straight away like suka hati macam tu, like you want to times 2, you times 2. Boleh buat macam ni? Boleh, tapi atas pun kena times 2 lah. So 3 times 2, 6, 7 times 2, 14. So 6 over 14 and 3 over 7, these two are the same thing, right? It means you can darab with any number you want. You can take the fraction, darab anything you want. Just make sure atas pun darab benda sama, bawah pun darab benda sama. As long as you do it for atas bawah, then you will get the same thing. In the end, you will get the same thing, right? So if I want to times 2 bawah, atas pun kena times 2. So what happens? You will end up getting 2 times 5x is 10x. And the A also have to times 2, negative 2a. Don't forget, both also have to times 2 because it's like this. You have to put bracket so that you expand. This is the correct way to expand. And then 2 times 4, you will get 8 here like this, right? And then equals to bx plus 14 over 8. Now you can compare because 8 and 8 is same already, right? Okay, so 8 and 8 compare, and then the 10x and the bx. So you can see this is x, this is x. So you can compare the number before x. So the number before x is 10. So the 10, okay, and then this one, the number before x is b. So b equals 10. And then what about the 14? Okay, you don't tell me 2a is 14, No, 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 it's not 2a. It's negative 2a. You have to be careful. Take the whole thing. Negative 2a equals 14, right? So it becomes negative 2a equals 14, and then a equals to negative 7. So this is your A answer, and this is your B answer, right? So that's all, right? Yeah, sudah siap. Done. Okay, let's continue. Okay, question 2 says what? If FF inverse M equals to 4, determine value of M. Okay, the answer is 4. M equals 4. Okay. Whenever you see FF inverse together like this, you can potong. So straight away you get M equals 4. Okay. Of course, if you want to do it slowly, can also. If you do it slowly, how? You do like this, like this, like this, equals 4. And then here you do F inverse M, right? And then for the F inverse M, you have to refer here and then change the X to M. So it becomes BM plus 14. Okay, BM plus 14 over 8 equals 4. And then the B, you already find it is 10. So masukkan 10 here. And then masuk the whole thing inside function fx. Masuk inside this whole two. I mean, it means this X have to change to this whole thing. And then equals 4. And then buat sampai you dapat M answer. But it's very slow, right? And I will tell you, if you do it like this, your answer will get 4. Okay? Okay? So next time, if you see FF inverse, you don't have to do already, just potong straight away, right? Whenever you see FF inverse, can cut. So when you cut, you left with M, so the M is 4. Macam tu, okay? But you can only cut when it's like 1F inverse. Kalau dia F inverse tak boleh cut. Ini tak boleh cut one. This one cannot cut. It must be one normal function, one inverse. Then only you can potong, cancel. Okay, so sudah siap. Okay, soalan B. What it says here. Given the function fx is 4 over x, okay. Gx is 2x minus 5, okay. Express 4 over 2x minus 5, where x cannot equals to 5 over 2 in terms of f and or g. Hence, give your justification. Okay, I think I know how to do. Okay, They want you to express this. So this is my soalan. This is my question. So I have to write this down. And they want it in terms of F and G, right? So I think I have to express this in terms of F and G. So how to do that? So first thing first, I already know this is FGX. Okay, I already know it. Let me tell you how I know it. Because 4 over 2x minus 5, can you see it looks exactly the same as this function right here? 4 over x. This one also 4 over x. It's just that the x, they replace with 2x minus 5. And 2x minus 5 is gx, right? It means that this function right here is actually fx, but the x replaced with gx. Okay, I repeat one more time. 4 over 2x minus 5 is the same with function fx. It's just that the x changed to 2x minus 5. That is why I know this is function fx, but the x have to replace with gx. So this is the answer. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, so that's why it's equals to fgx. Okay, they say here, hence give your justification. So I have to write a reason for them. Ayo, so how? The reason I already explained it lah. Okay, but let's just write it anyway. So how to write it? Uh, uh, since 4 over 2x minus 5 is equals to 4 over gx, right? Because the 2x minus 5 is gx, and 4 over gx can change to fgx lah. Yeah, because 4 over gx, because fx is 4 over x, and now I want 4 over gx. So is function fx lah. It's just that the x you change to gx, right? So since this equals to this equals to this, so comma fgx equals to 4 over 2x minus 5. Okay lah, I'll just write it like this lah. For the justification, for the reason, I'll just write like this. Okay. Okay, so it's only worth 2 marks. So yeah. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let's continue. Number 6. The following information refers to vectors m and n. Okay, they give in bracket form, right? If they give in bracket form, it means this is ij. This is coordinate vector. So what the 2 here means? The 2 here means it means if move to the right. Okay, the atas, this number is for the horizontal movement. It's for pergerakan yang kiri kanan punya. And then the bawah punya number, this one is for vertical movement. Vertical movement means the atas bawah punya pergerakan. Okay, if you can change this to ij actually. It becomes 2i plus kj lah if you do that. And if you change this to ij, it becomes 3i plus 11j. Okay, but you can later when you do your working, you can do it using the bracket form also. Okay, you want to do it in ij form also can. It's up to you. Okay, find value of k if vector 2n plus n is parallel to 1, -1. So whenever you see the word parallel, okay, this is vector. We are doing vector chapter. So in vector punya chapter, you learn that if two vectors are parallel, these two vector dia boleh sama dengan. Tapi kena letak lambda. You have to letak lambda. So in vector, when two vectors are parallel, you can take dual vector ni dia boleh equal, dia boleh sama dengan these two vectors can equal, but you have to add a lambda because dia tak sama panjang mah. So there will be a ratio, and we will use lambda to represent the ratio lah. Okay, but if you straight away take this 2n plus n terus equals lambda 1 -1, you realize you will get stuck here. You know why? Because even if you take your lambda, you expand inside, you cannot compare with this side, because this one on the right side is in terms of ij, because they write in bracket form means it's in terms of ij, right? And this side is in terms of mn. So how can you compare, right? You cannot compare. You can only compare I with I, j with j, ataupun m with m, n with n. If it's like mn on one side, ij on the other side, you cannot compare. But it's okay. Let's take this lambda darab masuk dulu. You get 1 lambda and then -1 and negative lambda, right? But I already explained why you cannot take lambda terus equals 2. Cannot do like that, because this one is in terms of mn. So how to make this in terms of ij? They give you here already They already tell you mn in the soalan here. So just sub inside like this. So the m is what? 2k, and the n is what? 311. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? What's the reason behind this? Is because I want to make it this in terms of ij also lah, so that I can compare with this other vector later. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7, 2 times k is 2k plus 11 is 2k plus 11. Okay, I actually skip one step already because I do it fast. I straight away times plus, right? Okay, hopefully you can follow also. So you end up with something like this. Now you can compare. When you compare, you mesti compare I dengan I, J dengan J. It means atas dengan atas, bawah dengan bawah. So lambda equals 7. And then negative lambda equals 2k plus 11. But since lambda is 7, so negative 7 equals 2k plus 11. And then 2k equals to plus, pindah jadi minus, negative 7 minus 11, negative 18, divide 2, negative 9. So this is your final answer. Okay, sudah siap. Number 7, a quadratic function is given by fx equals to 4x squared minus 16x plus k. So I think this is a quadratic chapter, right? So let me write down this equation. Confirm it will be important later on, right? So I think it's better if I write it down now. 4x squared minus 16x plus k. I can see it's already in general form. And the a is 4, the b is negative 16, but the c never give us, right? So later mesti dia kena bagi some other information to help me find the k, right? So let's see what it says here. A, find the smallest value of k such that fx is greater than 0 and k is an integer. What's the meaning of fx bigger than 0? It means fx is always positive lah. So I want to tell you something. So if I take this whole thing bigger than 0, you will realize you cannot solve for x, or you cannot find k, right? Because they say fx bigger than 0, right? So most students, they will do it like this. They will just think, okay, fx bigger than 0, it means they will do it like this: 4x squared minus 16x plus k bigger than 0. But if you do it like this, you realize that you can't find k, right? Because you cannot solve this. Because you cannot find k and you cannot find x also. Okay? Okay, so this is not the correct way. Okay, because you cannot continue from here. So let me tell you how you should do it. What it means when it says fx bigger than 0. So what it basically means is, it means this, they are trying to tell you this equation has no roots. Yeah. Fx bigger than 0 means it has no roots. Let me tell you why. Because we already know the a is positive. So the quadratic curve looks like this, like a smiley face, right? But what's the meaning of fx bigger than 0? It means your x-axis will not touch the curve. It means your fx is always bigger than 0. And this is the range. Okay, the range fx is always positive. You faham kan? If it's like this, then it's not always positive already, because the range of y-axis is like here to here, right? That's the range of fx. Okay, and you can see there's some negative value here. But if they say fx always bigger than 0, it means how to say, the graph never touch the x-axis. It's like above. Okay, it's above. So that's why the range of fx is always positive, because the lowest point also, the y coordinate is positive, and of course the higher point must be confirm positive also. So what you have to do here, b squared minus 4ac smaller than 0, because this equation never touch the x-axis. It means it will have no roots. No roots. So no roots means your discriminant is negative. Discriminant means b squared minus 4ac. So now you just sub inside, and then lesser than 0. Let me give you a tip. Let me give you some tips. All right. So these tips I very useful one. I tell my student these tips also. So let me tell you what's the tips. So the tips is, you try to look at your equation, right? If your equation is not complete, you do b squared minus 4ac. But if your equation is complete, then you do quadratic inequality. You faham maksud saya? It means if your equation is like this, like where it's like not complete, like you can see the k don't never give you, right? So you will do it, which method? You will do b squared minus 4ac, right? But if one day, if this equation is complete, let's say the k they give you lah, let's say they give you like 7 lah. Contoh saja lah, contoh they give you 7. And then the soalan mention fx greater than 0. Then you don't do it like this. Then you don't do it like this. You will take the whole thing bigger than 0. It means you will take 4x squared minus 16x plus 7. So this is assuming they give you the k. It means assuming they give you the complete equation. And then they say fx bigger than 0. Then you do like that. If you do like that, you can find the range of x, right? You can just solve using this one you learn in 2.1 ma. You solve the quadratic inequality, right? Okay, but the method is a bit different with the quadratic equation one. Quadratic inequality, you have to use the graph sketching method, and then if bigger, you have to shade here, that one lah. Okay, so this one is kalau dia bagi equation complete, right? So let me repeat one more time. What's the tips? If the question gives you complete equation, it means the ABC all you have, then you solve the quadratic inequality, because they say fx bigger than 0, so just solve for the range of x, right? Then you get the answer already. But if the equation is not complete, and if they tell you fx bigger than 0, you should do b squared minus 4ac smaller than 0. Uh, like that. Okay. So hopefully you can remember these tips, right? It's very helpful one, very useful. Okay, so b is negative 16 masuk, a is 4 masuk, c is k masuk, 16 squared 256 minus 4 16k smaller than 0, negative 16k 256 move over there become negative 256, smaller, still smaller lah. Okay. Okay, now becomes I want to find k, right? So when I find k, I have to pindah negative 16 become divide negative 16. So it'll be negative 2 divide negative 16. And if you press this in your calculator, you get positive 16. Okay. Okay, but you remember when you divide negative number, this symbol have to terbalik, have to flip terbalik. So the smaller suddenly become bigger already, right? Okay, but the answer never says find range of k. I mean the question never say find range of k. They say find the smallest value of k. So I don't think you can write. I don't think your answer can write like this. You have to write the smallest value of k. It means you have to write equal and you have to choose one number. So can you tell me what's bigger than 16? So if k has to be bigger than 16 means k is what? 17, 18, 19, all those numbers lah. Oh, they got say k is an integer, right? Yeah, they mention here k is an integer. What's integer? Integer means tak ada decimal, tak ada pecahan, tak ada fraction, tak ada like point macam tu lah. Okay, so it means k is like a number yang macam 16, 17, tak ada 16.9, 16.2, tak ada macam tu kan. Tak ada pecahan. So what is an integer that is bigger than 16? So you have 17, 18, 19 and so on lah. But I will take 17 because they want smallest value of k. So the smallest is 17 lah. 16 cannot 16 cannot because there's no line here. If there's a line here, then you can, it means that the 16 is included in your answer. But if they never put line here, means the smallest value yang you boleh ambil is 17. Okay. I mean the smallest integer. Yeah, the smallest integer you can take is 17. 18, 19 also bigger than 16, right? But we don't take that because they want smallest value. Okay. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, what about B? The roots of quadratic equation when fx0 are alpha and beta. So we already know the fx. Yeah, we can just tengok dari sini. Fx equals to 4x squared minus 16x plus k. The k, can I use this for my k? No, right? Yeah, no. Because if I use the k17 for here, then what happens? Because later they number one also they find value of k, right? Takkan lah you boleh guna k17 here dalam sini. If you can use that, then you don't have to do this already. The automatic k is 17 already, right? You don't even care about the information already. So I think for the question B1 you don't have the k. Yeah, you don't have the k. You cannot use the k from A. Cannot. Tak boleh guna jawapan yang A untuk guna dekat B. So A is like A, it means A punya k and B punya k is different. Okay. Okay, so sekarang kita tak tahu k Okay, so but they got tell us the roots is alpha and beta. Okay, do Sopor method. Yeah, do Sopor method because they give you the roots already So x1 equals alpha. But they say when fx 0, right? Okay, so I should actually write down the whole thing equals 0 first. 4x squared minus 16x plus k, whole thing equals 0. And then the x1 is alpha, the x2 is beta. Keep in mind you don't have the k. You don't have the k. So it means your equation is not complete. So now they says number one, if beta exceeds alpha by 1, exceeds means melebihi. So it means the beta is actually alpha but plus 1. So because it exceeds alpha by 1. So beta you can write it as alpha plus 1. And then now this says determine value of k that satisfy the equation. Okay lah, you use Sopor method lah. So do you remember what's the Sopor formula? The SOR formula is what? X1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. So it will be alpha plus 1 equals to negative b over a. And the b of the equation is negative 16 and the a is 4. So you will get 2 alpha plus 1 equals to positive 4 because negative positive, and then 2 alpha equals to 3, alpha equals 3 over 2. But they never ask you to find alpha, they ask you to find k. So you should do the POR. Yeah, the SOR POR is together one. Okay, you always, when you do SOR, you will do POR. When you do POR, you do SOR. They are together one. Okay, you have to do both lah, it means. Okay, how to find POR is x1 times x2 equals c over a. That's the formula. So alpha times beta equals to c over a. And the c is k lah. And then the a is 4, so k over 4. But don't forget the alpha, you find it already, so you can sub inside. 3 over 2 beta equals to k over 4. And how to find, wait. Alpha beta is 3 over 2 only, right? Because the whole thing, Eh, wait. Did I do something wrong here? Oh, sorry. This one is alpha times beta. But they say beta exceeds alpha by 1, right? So the beta is actually alpha plus 1. So yeah. Silap. So actually it's not alpha times beta, it's alpha times alpha plus 1 like this. Alpha like this. Yeah, because the x2 is beta, but beta is alpha plus 1. And just now when I do sum of root also, I use alpha plus 1 for the x2. I never use beta, right? So when I do the product of root also, I should use alpha plus 1 for the x2. So alpha times alpha plus 1 equals to c over a, which is k over 4 like this. All right. The alpha, I already have it, so it's 3 over 2. So just sub inside 3 over 2 plus 1 like this equals to k over 4. Okay, I can just press this whole thing in the calculator and see what it gives you. So 3 over 2 plus 1, 5 over 2, and then times 3 over 2. Okay, my calculator give me 15 over 4. But this is not the answer yet because I still have to pinna the 4. So this one is k over 4. Now the 4 pinnas in it. So how to find k? 15 over 4 times 4, which is 15 lah. Okay, because when you take this one times 4, the 4 potong. Boleh potong. So the k is 15. Okay, so I think sudah siap kan? So yeah, this is my B answer. Okay, B1 only not finished yet. This is only B1. So let me make space for the B2. Okay, so I will do my B2 here. Okay, what happens here? So k equals 15, and then this one I erase. Okay, so let me do my B2 here. Okay, let me scroll up a bit. Okay, like this. Okay, B2. This says if the product of root is 2 alpha plus 5. Okay, so the POR is 2 alpha plus 5. And then express the value of alpha in terms of k. Okay, I want to mention something. You cannot use this k for, it means you cannot use the last question punya k for this question. They are not the same k, right? And also they already said express alpha in terms of k. If you masuk k inside, then later your answer tak ada k already. They want in terms of k means they don't want you to find k, right? So don't find the k. But we can use this, we can start with this equation, right? Which is fx equals to 4x squared minus 16x plus k. But they did mention that the fx is 0. So 4x squared minus 16x plus k equals 0, right? So now they say the product of root is 2 alpha plus 5, express value of alpha in terms of k. Okay, we can't find the roots, right? They never mention the roots. You don't tell me, oh, sir, the roots is alpha plus 1. No. That one is B1. That one is B1. I'm doing B2 now. So B2, we actually don't know the roots. And also the equation is not complete. But they mentioned the product of root is 2 alpha plus 5. So the product of root is always equals to x1 times x2, right? But we don't know the x1 times x2. But we do know that even though, okay, walaupun saya tak tahu dia punya x1, x2, tapi saya tahu bila saya ambil x1 darab x2, I will get C over A. Even though I don't know what is my x1, x2, x1 times x2, I don't know, but I know x1 times x2 is equals to C over A. And you can nampak you put in CA from your equation. So the C is K, the A is 4. So K over 4 equals to like this, right? Okay, now they want to express the value of alpha in terms of K. It means you have to make alpha single. You kena jadikan alpha single. So macam mana nak jadi alpha single? Pindah 5 and then pindah 2 lah. Okay, pindah 5 first. K over 4 minus 5. And then pindah 2. When you pindah 2, you have to divide 2. So K divide 4 divide 2 is K divide 8. And then 5 divide 2 is 5 over 2. So this is the answer. Okay? Okay, sudah siap. Okay, let's do number 8. So I think this is, what is this? Okay, I think it's coordinate geometry, but I'm not too sure. I have to read the question first. But just by looking at the diagram, judging by this diagram, I think it's coordinate geometry. Let's read. Diagram 4 shows the intersection of Jalan Mawar and Jalan Ros in a small town. Let's check. Jalan Mawar, Jalan Ros intersect at the O. So maybe later the O is 0, 0 lah. Okay, and then they say there are stall A, B, C in the area. Let's see. Stall A, stall B, stall C. Okay, that are located close to each other, okay, as shown in the diagram below, okay? So nothing to label here. So far, nothing to label. And then it says given that OABC is parallelogram. Oh, this one important. Yeah, this one important. So if they mention OABC parallelogram, okay, let's just join. Let's join O to A to B, and then B to C, and then C back to O. So they say this is a parallelogram. So when it's a parallelogram, I always like to label like this. arrow, 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 and then one arrow here, one arrow here. Okay, why I label like this is to remind me that this is a parallelogram and the opposite line will be parallel lah. Ataupun they will have the same gradient. Parallel ataupun they have the same gradient because it's a parallelogram, right? And also A says what? If the position of the meeting place of Jalan Mawar and Jalan Rose is O, okay, O, and is represented by 0, 0. So this is the origin, the titik asalan. Yeah, origin 0, 0, we call it titik asalan. Sebab dia titik asal lah, kosong, kosong. State the position of B and C. Okay, I think they want you to write the coordinate lah, right? They want you to write coordinate of B and write down the coordinate for C, right? Okay, so can we write the coordinate of C? Yeah, you can write it easily. So what is the x coordinate for C? You don't tell me 15. No, 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 no. The x coordinate will be the jarak from here to here, which is 75. So 75 is the x coordinate. Okay. And then the 15, that's the y coordinate. Because y coordinate, you have to butcher to the y axis. So it's the height here. So the thingy here, the height here is 15. So I already find out my C coordinate. Okay, what about my B punya coordinate? Okay, if I butcher the x coordinate, I have to take the distance from here to here. But I actually don't know. I don't know what's the distance here, right? So how? Let's see. Okay, tak apa, tak apa. What about the y coordinate? The distance here, right? Also, they never give here. The 45 is only from here to here. So I don't know the distance here. Okay, tak apa, it's okay. Let's, what about point A? Okay. Okay, I know the question never asked to find A punya coordinate, but I find it anyway. So what's the point A punya x coordinate? So the x coordinate will be here, but it's not 45, huh? No, 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 not 45. The x coordinate is the distance here, which is 35, right? So 35. And then the y coordinate is the height from here to here, which is 45. Okay. Oh, one more thing I forget. I have to put negative, right? Yeah, the x coordinate must be negative because if this is 0, 0, and all these points is on the left side of 0, 0, it means all the x coordinate will be negative. But the y coordinate is positive because it's atas y, atas is, yeah, is above the x-axis, right? It's above the x-axis, so the y coordinate is positive. But it's on the left side of the y-axis, that's why the x coordinate is negative. Okay, hopefully what I mentioned here makes sense to you. Okay, now we have a problem because we already get our C coordinate, but the question asks for B coordinate, and I don't have the B coordinate. So how do we find the B coordinate? Okay, actually there is two method. There's two method. There's two method that I can think of right now to find the B coordinate. First method is you use the midpoint. Okay, if you are my student, you know this method because I always mention to my student about when you do parallelogram, the midpoint of OB will be the same with midpoint of AC. Okay, let me explain what it means. If you have a parallelogram shape, and if you tarik a line from here to here across like this, and you tarik from this, let's call this PQRS. So the midpoint of PR is equals to midpoint of QS. So what you can do to find the point B, you can use the midpoint formula, right? Because the midpoint of AC will be the same with midpoint of OB. So what you do is you find midpoint of AC on one side, right? And you can find it easily because you have these 2 points already. Just take x plus x divide 2, y plus y divide 2, and then you will get the midpoint of AC. And then on the other side, you do midpoint of OB. But when you do midpoint of OB, you will get stuck. Why you will get stuck? Because you don't have point B. Your point B is XY. But it's okay because later you can compare because you have the answer. You have the answer for midpoint AC. So you can compare with the midpoint AC later, right? So that's one of the way to do it lah. But there's another method which is easier. Let me show you now. Another method is like this. O to A punya jarak, O to A, you can see A punya coordinate is negative 35, 45. It means, I use red color. It means I will go here 35, and then I will go here 45, right? So can you tell me from C to B, it should also be what? It should also be 35, 45, right? Makes sense, right? Because this is a parallelogram. So kalau sini you pergi 35 to the left and then go up 45. So from C to B also it should be go left 35, go up 45. So how to find XY? Actually, you just take negative 75 minus with 35, right? Yeah. So for point B, Okay, for point B, the x coordinate will be, because here is negative 75, the x coordinate, but you have to go further left 35 more units. So it's like negative 75 minus lagi 35, because you have to go backwards lagi 35. So minus 35, that's the x coordinate. And then for the y coordinate, it will be, okay, this y coordinate is 15, right? 15. But you have to go up lagi berapa? You have to go up lagi 45. And how I know this 45 is because from O to A is like that, 35, 45. So from C to B also, it will be like this also. So it will be 15 plus 45, like this. So if you calculate this, you will get negative 110 and then 60. Okay. And then they also ask for point C, right? Okay, so for the point C, just write here. Okay, the point C is easy. You already have it, negative 75, 15. Right? So this is the working for A. Okay. So that's the answer. Okay, if you want to use the midpoint method, can also, you will end up getting the same answer. Okay, so the midpoint method, how you do it? You find midpoint of AC, and then make that then that's the midpoint of AC, right? But the midpoint of AC will be the same with midpoint of OB. So you will find midpoint of OB, and then the midpoint of OB you compare with the midpoint of AC answer. And then you find the XY, and then you get this also, right? So yeah, can also lah. Okay, so I will do B now. So B says what? Find the shortest distance between intersection of Jalan Mawar and Jalan Ros O and the position A. So they want shortest distance from O to A. So where is O? Where is A? O is here, the coordinate is 0, 0. A is here, the coordinate also also have negative 35, 45. So they want the shortest distance. It means this distance, this is confirmed is shortest one, right? So how to find the distance? Just use the distance formula lah. Or you can say use Pythagoras theorem, right? Hey, actually, the distance formula come from Pythagoras theorem. Because the distance formula is like this, right? Square root bracket square plus bracket square. And then this one is x1 minus x2. This one is y1 minus y2. And actually, this formula actually come from Pythagoras theorem. You realize that when you take x minus x, what you are finding? You are finding the horizontal distance, right? And then when you take y minus y, you are finding vertical distance. And then when you square, it's because of the Pythagoras theorem lah. A square plus b square ma. And then equals to c square. Okay? That's why the distance here would be square root this whole thing, right? Okay, so yeah, you can just do it like this lah. Okay, so they want distance of OA now. So I will just write, where should I do it? Okay lah, I'll just write distance OA here lah. Distance equals square root, and then I draw a line. Okay, so the first bracket I have to write x minus x square. But you are finding OA punya distance, so the x coordinate will be 0, negative 35 minus 0. Alright. And then plus with y minus y, so the y coordinate is 45 minus 0, like this. Right? And then square. Okay, you end up getting negative 35 square plus 45 square, you press calculator lah. Actually, the negative is useless one, because when you square, the negative will become positive. When you square a negative number, you will get positive. All right, so plus 45 square. Okay, I got 3250, but you have to square root the whole thing, right? So what happens when you square root the whole thing? You will end up with, okay, let's write in decimal, 57.00877. Okay, just write 4 significant figure lah. So 57.008, so 01. And then write units, right? Okay, for those that want to do Pythagoras theorem, I already say it's the same thing. You would just, because this is 90 degree 45, 35. So you take 45 square plus 35 square and then square root the whole thing. But it's the same. It's the same. Sama saja Sama saja. The answer also come out like this one, right? Okay, so it's the same. Okay, I want to do C now. Okay, actually, question C got 2 answer. Yeah, got 2 answer. I already tried to do it myself. The schema only show you one of the answer, but actually there's 2 answer. Okay, yeah, okay, let me explain. So C says what? Another stall D is open. So you can see the stall D is not in the diagram. The diagram only have ABC stalls. So D is a new stall, such that the distance from stall A is 2 times distance from stall C. Find position of stall D. Okay, let me clean up my diagram. Let me clear all these things first, because dia kacau saya. So I will, okay, but the coordinate don't erase. The coordinate is important. Okay, so now tell me, D is open such that distance from A is 2 times its distance from C. Find position of stall D. It means D will be along this line AC here. So what I will do now, I will use red color. And then I will draw a panjang garisan joining AC, but I will draw it long. I will draw it panjang like this. Okay, until here. And then this one also I will panjangkan, right? So point D will be somewhere along this line, right? Somewhere along this line. And the condition is the distance D to A is always 2 times its distance to C. So this one is DC. So this is the meaning DA equals to 2DC. And then find the position of D, right? Okay, it means later you have to find the exact coordinate of point D, right? But before finding the exact coordinate, let's try to estimate the position first. We try to, how to say, teka mana D duduk dulu. Is it duduk somewhere here? Okay, is it duduk somewhere here? Or is it like D here? Or is it like D here, right? So let's try to like estimate the position of D first. So let me ask you one thing. Is it possible for my D to duduk here? Possible atau tak possible if my D duduk here? It's possible, right? Because dA equals to 2DC means the dA ratio is 2 and the DC ratio is 1. So DC is ratio 1, dA ratio is 2. So where is your A here, right? So it means the distance from here to here, from here to here, the ratio is 2. And if this is 1, and okay, let me erase this. Okay, so like this, it means this ratio is 1, like that, right? So you can find your point D easily actually because D is because DA punya midpoint is C, right? Because if the ratio 1 1 means you use the midpoint formula. So you can find your point D easily by using the midpoint formula. But point D is not the midpoint. Point C is the midpoint. So you use the midpoint formula to cari balik point D, right? But this is not the only possibility. The point D can also do it here, right? Okay, let me ask you first. Is it possible for D to do it here? Let's think about this. DA is 2 times DC. DA is 2 times DC. It means DC, if the DC ratio is 1, DA is 2. So is this possible? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible to find point D this way. But if you want to do it like this, you use the point C formula already. You cannot use midpoint formula because the ratio is not 1 1. The ratio is 2 1. So to find point D, you have to use the point C formula. I call it the point C formula, but it's point D lah in this case. It's point D because D is the point in between. Okay, it's just that for my own student, I always call it the point C formula, but it's not always point C one. It can be point F, point G, point A. It depends on the question. Okay, let me ask you. Point D can be here, it can be here, right? But is it possible for point D to be here? So let me explain it. So this one I erase first. Okay, is it possible for point D to be somewhere here? It's not possible. Why is it not possible? Because dA is 2 times DC. So dA punya ratio is 2, but the DC ratio is 1. Because they say this dA is 2 times distance DC, right? So the DC ratio is 1. But you can see it's not possible. Why is it not possible? Hey, hello, D to A, the here is 2 portion. But D to C is longer and you tell me the ratio is smaller. No, right? It's not. Tak ada logic. Tak ada logic. So the D confirm is not here. So that means the D cannot be here. So now you understand why I say got 2 answer. You understand now? Because the D can be in this position, it can be in this position, but not this position. I already explained why. So the D can be here, it can be here. And also, you do it using different method. One, you do it using midpoint. One, you do it using the point C formula. That is why I got 2 answer lah. Okay. Okay, let me do both. Okay, let me do both for you. Okay, let me do both for you. So how will I do it? Okay, let's assume that the D is here. So if the D is here, I don't know the D coordinate, I call it XY. But if the D is here, the ratio will be what? So from here to here, DC, the ratio is 1. And then the DA ratio is 2 because they say DA is 2 times DC, right? So from D to A, the ratio is 2, right? So I will just use this. I'll just write like this. So this ratio is 2. So if the whole thing is 2, this is 1, then the remaining here will be 1. And the remaining here will be 1 from C to A. So how to find point D? Okay, let me draw out the line for you because I takut you tak nampak. So the line looks like this. This is point D. And I don't know point D, X, Y. And then here is point C, which is negative 75, 15. And then the other one is point A, which is, okay, what's point A coordinate? negative 35, 45. Okay, and the ratio is 1, 1. Okay? And the reason is why is 1, 1 is because dA is 2 times dC. So dA is 2 times dC. So the whole ratio is 2. That's why 2 minus 1, 1. So the ratio is 1, 1. Okay. Okay, what's another possibility? Another possibility is when your point D is in between the CA. It means now the CA dekat hujung. So your C and A is at the side. So point C, point A at the side, and then point D is somewhere in between, right? So what's the point C coordinate? Negative 75, 15. Point A coordinate negative 35, 45. And then for the point D, I want to find, so I don't know lah, X, Y. But the ratio this time is how much? So dA is 2 times dC. So dA is 2 times. So the dA ratio is 2. And then the dC is just ratio 1. So this is also possible, right? That's why I say got two possibility. Okay, so if it's this case, how to find point D? You use the midpoint, right? So midpoint formula is x plus x divided 2, y plus y divided 2. Okay, but your middle point is point C now. So your point C would be the answer. So negative 75, 15 is equals to what? X minus 30, x plus negative 35, which is x minus 35 over 2, and then y plus 45 over 2 like this. It means you take the point yang dekat hujung punya point, tambah bahagi 2 to get the middle point. That's why I write like this. Okay, now you can compare the x coordinate with the x coordinate. So x minus 35 over 2 equals to negative 75, and you can find your x here. And then the other one is y plus 45 over 2. Compare with the y coordinate 15, and then you can get your y here. Okay, now we can use our calculator. Negative 75 times 2 plus 35, negative 115, and then 15 plus 2, sorry, times 2 lah. Sorry, times 2 and then plus minus 45. Okay, I got negative 15. Okay, negative 15. So this is one of the possible answer. One of the possibility. So I will write here dot, dot, dot. Point D answer is negative 115, negative 15. But there's another possible way to do it, which is, okay, how should I? Okay, okay, I'll just separate it like this. Right? So another possibility is like this, right? Okay, can I? Okay, yeah, I can. Oh, what happened? What happened? Wait. Let me try it one more time. Okay. Uh, okay lah. I will just draw one more time. So it's like this, right? The line, and this one one, this one two. Okay, this one I erase. Okay, so the other possibility is like this, right? So how to do it if it's this case? If it's this case, don't use the midpoint formula. You can only use the midpoint formula when the ratio is 1, 1. 1 to 1. This one is 1 to 2, so you have to use the point C formula. And the point C formula works like this. You take point C times 2, point A times 1. You always take the point that is at the side, at the tepi, the hujung punya point. The hujung punya point. And then you always times with the jauh punya ratio. The further ratio, the far away punya ratio. So the far away punya ratio, so point C times 2, point A times 1. Then what about point D? Point D is the answer lah. Point D is the answer. So point D is the answer. So point D xy is the answer, equals to what? Equals to and then you put this and then you letak this one lah, bracket, line, bracket. Okay, so remember when you do this formula, you have to darab silang. Always darab ratio yang jauh. So it will be point C times 2. So negative 75 times 2, 15 times 2. So negative 75 times 2. 15 times 2, you have to write at the y coordinate. Because 15 is y coordinate. So write at the y coordinate. Okay, point A times 1. So negative 35 times 1, which is negative 35 times 1. I don't want to write lah. And then 45 times 1 is 45. But the one I have to write at the y coordinate. And then if there's nothing in between means plus. And then bawah kena ambil ratio tambah. So 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2. Okay, almost finished. Now we just have to calculate this and then compare. Okay, so xy equals to, okay, just press this whole thing. Negative 75 times 2. And then minus 35. And then answer divide 3. So I got negative 185 over 3. Negative 185 over 3. The other answer is 15 times 2, which is 30 plus 45. And then divide 3. So my calculator give me 25. Okay, 25. Right? So now you saw your answer already lah. Your point D is negative 185 over 3 positive 25, right? Wait, is it mm, is it possible? So if it's here, it's negative, positive. But if the D is down here, it's negative. Oh, it means that this D is like below already lah. That's why you end up with negative negative. But it's possible also. This is also one of the answer. Okay, so let me tell you how the schema. Let me tell you the schema punya cara. The schema did it like this. Yeah, the schema do it like this, right? Yeah, the schema actually never show this method. This method don't have in schema. Okay, but I think there is two possible answer for this question because the question never says the D has to be in between AC, right? Unless they could say like, oh, point D divides AC. It means now you know, okay, D is like definitely in between. But if they never mention, it can be here also, right? It can be here also. This is also one of the possibility. That is why there is two possibility and there is two possible answers. And I want to explain fully so you understand the whole thing. So that's why I show you this method is also, yeah, it's also correct. It's also correct, even though the schema never show this method, but I think this is also accepted, can be accepted, because if the question never mention where is the D can be, it can have two possible position. Okay, so that's why you end up with two possible answers lah. Okay, so I think I did it correctly. So that's all. Okay, let me try with my calculator one more time. Negative 185/330 plus 45. Okay, yeah, correct. So I'll just leave it like this and hope you understand. Let's continue. Okay, number 9. Let's read. Diagram 5 shows a cylinder. So the cylinder height, they give you HCM, okay? It is given that the radius of cylinder is 4 square root 3. Okay, label R equals 4 square root 3, the jari. So if they give you radius and height, then maybe we can find the volume. Okay, I don't know what they want yet, so let's read. The height HCM, okay, boleh. And the total surface area is 56 pi square root 6. Okay, I see the word already. Total surface area. So nanti kena guna formula total surface area lah. Okay, what is total surface area? Okay, let's finish reading the question first. Express H in the form of m square root 2 plus n square root 3 such that m and n are constant. So I think later you have to rationalize because your answer is dalam bentuk macam ni, right? Yang dalam cert form. It's like in a cert form, okay, dalam bentuk cert, tapi dia tak ada pecahan, right? Dia tak ada fraction, and also there's no square root dekat bawah. So I think later have to rationalize, right? Because when you find H, confirm you have square root dekat bawah one. Okay, yeah, and your radius is 4 square root 3. So later have to rationalize, right? Okay, but we will need to talk about I need to talk about the formula for surface area cylinder dulu. So total surface area TSA dalam bahasa Melayu jumlah luas permukaan untuk silinder, formula dia 2 pi r square plus 2 pi rh. This is the formula. Okay, so where this formula come from? Okay, this formula total surface area means cari jumlah luas, right? So when you open up the cylinder, you end up with this, right? So how to find the area of this circle? Pi r square lah. You learn it in form 1, form 2, form 3, you learn it already. The area of circle is pi r square. Okay. But since there's two circles, that's why it's 2 pi r square. And then plus with the area of this segi empat, the rectangle. Okay, rectangle punya area is base times height. But the base here, dia tak bagi, right? But this one is the height of the cylinder lah. But the base here, it will be the same length with the circumference of the circle. I repeat one more time. The base of this, the panjang here, it will be same with the circumference of the circle. Circumference means the lilitan. The lilitan. I means like the perimeter lah, the perimeter of the circle lah. The apa? Outside punya panjang of the circle. So that's why this one is equals to 2 pi r because the circumference circle punya formula is 2 pi r. That's why the formula for surface area cylinder is 2 pi r square, 2 circle, plus with 2 pi rh. 2 pi rh is because the rectangle panjang sini sama dengan circumference, and then the circumference formula is 2 pi r, so like this, right? Okay, but actually you don't have to understand all this, right? You just have to memorize. Just remember this. Okay, if you remember this, you can do lah, right? Okay, so now it's time to put in everything, sub everything inside lah. Okay, 2 pi r square, so 2 pi r square. R is 4 square root 3, masukkan saja. Plus with 2 pi rh, 2 pi r masukkan 4 square root 3. Height dia h, okay, tak ada kan h. Okay, because mau cari lah. The h mau cari, that's why tak bagi. And the whole thing equals to 56 pi square root 6. because they said total surface area is 56.5 square root 6, and all the unit is in cm, and yeah, the surface area also in cm square, so we don't have any issue with the unit, so we can just do it. Okay, straight away I saw something already. This term, they all have pi. They all have pi, right? So why not you divide everything with pi? So when you divide pi, you left what? 2. And this one, at the same time, I think you can expand it, right? Expand it. Not, I mean, expand means like, it means you do power 2 lah. So 4 square root 3 kena kuasa 2. Maksudnya 2 kena square. Sorry. This 4 kena square, and then square root 3 pun kena square. So what happens when you take 4 square, you get 16 lah. And then square root 3, when you square, you get 3. Because when you take square root square, the square root and square can cut. Yeah, the square root and square can potong. Kalau dia ada macam ni, boleh potong. So you left with 3, but don't write like this, write times. Write times. Okay, plus 2 pi, okay. But the pi I already said, I already divide with pi, so the pi disappears. And then 2 times 4 square root 3, straight away write 8 square root 3 lah. 8 square root 3. Okay. 8 square root 3, because 2 times 4 is 8, right? So when you take number hanya boleh darab dengan number, number hanya boleh darab dengan number, square root hanya boleh darab dengan square root. Okay, so the square root 3, leave it like this, and then h, right? Okay, the h just write beside like this, equals 56 square root 6, because the pi, it means the pi all I divide by pi already. Okay, so I should write like this, everything divide by pi. Okay, let me make some space. Okay, now I will continue. 2 times 16 times 3, what's the answer? 96. Yeah, so you use your calculator, you get 96 plus 8 square root 3h. So I will just write 8 square root 3 times h equals to 56 square root 6. And since I want to find h, I will pindah the 96. So it becomes 8 square root 3 times h equals to 56 square root 6 minus 96. Okay, please don't tell me you go and tekan 56 minus 96. Cannot. Mana boleh? Ini dia ada square root, ini dia tak ada square root. So these are not same term. Dia tak boleh tolak lah, means. It means this one cannot do already. Ini tak boleh buat. You cannot tekan calculator, cannot. Like just leave it like this. Memang tak boleh buat. So how to find h? 56 square root 6 minus 96. The whole thing have to divide with the 8 square root 3. Like this. Okay, if you stop here, then your answer tak ada dalam bentuk ni dah. Because they already said express h in this form. If you want your answer to look like this form, you have to rationalize. You have to make sure bawah sini tak ada square root, baru boleh jadi form macam ni, right? And how do you rationalize? You have to hilangkan square root dekat bawah lah. So the way to do it is, alright, kalau you punya bawah tak ada plus minus, then you just darab dengan dia punya, contoh this one is 8 square root 3, right? Just darab dengan square root 3. Yeah, just darab dengan dia punya square root 3. Because square root 3 is the conjugate cert for square root 3. You darab dengan dia punya conjugate cert. What is conjugate cert? Conjugate cert means when you darab with this, the conjugate cert, the square root will hilang one. So darab square root 3 lah. Okay. Okay, I know some student, they will say, hey, sir, what if I darab 8 square root 3? Okay lah, can also. If you darab 8 square root 3, can also. Okay. You'll get same answer later if you darab 8 square root 3. Okay, but I will darab square root 3. Okay, so draw a line here. Okay, what happens when you take 8 square root 3 times square root 3? Okay, square root hanya boleh darab dengan square root. So square root can only time with square root. So nothing will happen to the 8. And then square root 3 times square root 3 will just be 3. Because when you take square root times square root, the square root hilang already. Okay, so now you will realize that your square root disappear. Dia tak ada square root kat bawah dah. So you already rationalize lah. But make sure atas pun kena darab square root 3. And I want to make sure I put the bracket like this, so you know it's like both term also have to times square root 3. So square root can only times with square root. So nothing will happen to the 56. Square root 6 times square root 3 is square root 18. Okay. Minus 96 times square root 3 is just 96 square root 3 like this. Right. And then I realized that the square root 18 you can simplify. Because square root 18 can divide by perfect square. Yeah. So 18 can divide by 9. 9 times 2, right? So square root 9, it will be 3, and then 3 square root 2. It means square root 18, when you simplify, you get this, right? Okay, actually 6 times 3 also 18, right? But why I never do it like this is because 6 cannot square root, 3 also cannot square root, right? So that's why I never, it means you cannot simplify if you change to 6 times 3. It means you have to choose perfect square, right? When you simplify cert, you have to think about what perfect square the number can divide. It means you have to, when you simplify cert, you have to think about this, the number can divide which perfect square. Okay, and for this case, 18 can divide 9. Yeah, that's why it becomes 3 square root 2. So it becomes 56 times is 3 and then times is square root 2. I already explained here why is it like that. And then minus with 96 square root 3. Okay, square root 3 cannot simplify already. Yeah, square root 3 cannot already. Okay, so h equals to what? 56 times 3, you can just press in your calculator. So I get 168. Okay, so it's like 168 square root 2. Okay, but do you realize they want your answer to be like this? Can you see the other fraction one? Like the answer they want in this form, and there's no fraction. So how can we make sure it's in this form? Very easy. You just pecahkan macam ni. Pecahkan. Pecahkan means like you kasih separate into two. Instead of combining everything into one fraction, you separate into two separate fraction. Two single fraction. So when you separate, you have to make sure bawah ada satu term. So bawah ada satu term, then only you can perform this. So when you separate it, okay, what's 56 times 3? 168, right? So it'll be 168 over 24. And then the square root 2, you can just write beside like this. When you write in the middle beside like this, it means dia atas punya lah. Okay. And then minus, okay, the 96 also have to over 24. And then the square root 3 just write beside. Because dia atas punya. When you write like this, means dia atas punya. And you can see it's already look like this form already. But you have to continue because 168 and can divide 24. So you have to press this. And when you press, what you get? Let me press. Okay, I got 7. So it'll be 7 square root 2 minus. Okay, what's 96 divided 24? Okay, my calculator give me 4. Okay, so this one is 4 square root 3. Okay, so I think this is the answer, right? Okay, the question got request you to write in this form, right? So yeah, this is already looks like it already looks the same already with this form. You can see that the m is 7, the n is -4. But you don't have to write m equals 7, n equals -4. The soalan never ask you to find mn. They just want you to write in this form. So you can stop here already. Sudah siap already. Yeah, finish already. Okay, now I will continue with part B. Okay, but I need space. Okay, let me kecilkan this. Okay, I think like that. Okay, I just want to read the question only. Okay, B. Given that log k base p equals a, log k base q equals b, show that log pq base k equals to a plus b over ab. Okay, this is a show question. For show punya question, you will have the answer already. Okay, they will give you, this is the question, and the other side, that's the answer, right? So what you need to do is you show them the working. Okay, step by step, you show them how can you go from here to here. Show them the working. So the answer already. You just have to show the working. Okay, I'll just do it up here lah. So let me erase this. Okay, I'll do it up here. So let me start from the soalan. So log K EQ, right? Okay, this is the answer. So I will buat tak nampak benda ni. Buat tak nampak means like you act like you don't see this, right? Because you are trying to do it yourself and try to show them that this thing can equals to this. But they go give us two information here. Log K base P equals A, log K base Q equals to B. Okay, if the information log base is the same, for example, this one is log base 9, this one is log base 9, both follow base 9, then you don't have to question yourself, just change to log base 9. Okay, if the log punya information same base lah. But if it's like this, one base P, one base Q, then it's like it's very hard for you to decide whether you want to change your soalan to base P or base Q, right? So it's like you don't know because your information is different base. You have two information and two information not same base. So you don't know which base you need to change, right? So let me tell you how. If you look at your soalan, it's log PQ base K, right? So what you can do, this one is single log times, right? It means you don't change base first. You don't tukar base first. You try to pecahkan jadi separate log dulu. So this thing can pecahkan. How to pecahkan? How to separate? So P and Q is a times, right? Hubungan dia darab. So single log darab, single log times, you boleh pecah jadi separate log plus. So it becomes log KP plus log KQ. Now only you tukar base. But tukar to which base? Obviously this one you tukar to base P lah. Because P dengan P ada connection mah. And then this one you change to base Q. Because later Q and Q, they other connection. So what happens now? Tukar base, tukar base. When you change base, the log number P have to tulis atas, the log base have to tulis bawah. So K tulis bawah. Same with here, log number Q have to tulis atas, log base K have to tulis bawah. And then for the base, okay, I told you already, this one you will change to base P, right? Because P and P can got connection. If you change this to base q, it's like that logic one. Because if you change q, how you supposed to do log p base q later, right? You will sangkut kan. Because the p you tak ada, q, the log number pun tak ada, log base pun tak ada, macam mana nak buat? But if you change to base p, it's good because log pp later can potong jadi 1. Same here, this one don't change to base p, this one change to base q. Why? Because log qq later can potong jadi 1. Okay, so now you get your answer already. Log pp 1, log pk, pk is given here a, and then plus log qq is 1, log qk is b. But I told you already, this is a show question, and you have to show that your answer match with the answer they write here. If it doesn't match, means you haven't finished yet. So this thing is not the same with this. So what you can do, okay, the reason why it's not the same is because the answer is a single fraction. My answer now is like a separate fraction, right? It's like two different fraction. So what you can do, you can combine these two fraction together. But you don't tell me you combine like this, 1 plus 1, a plus b like that. Hey, cannot lah, cannot combine like that one. When you combine, if you want to combine jadi single fraction, you have to make sure the denominator is the same. Yeah, you have to make sure they have the same denominator. Bawah dia kena sama baru boleh combine jadi satu fraction. So bawah dia sama ke sekarang? Tak sama mah. Ini A, ini B. So macam mana nak samakan? This one times B, this one times B, this one times A, this one times A. Then your bawah sudah sama. So your bawah sudah jadi AB lah. And then atas tinggal apa? B times 1, which is B, plus 1 times A, which is A. And you can just rewrite this whole thing, A plus B over AB, and then sudah sama dengan jawapan lah. Right? So the jawapan they want to show equals to this. So this one same already. B plus A and A plus B is the same thing. And then you can write the word shown. Right? Because they ask you to show, right? So after you sudah berjaya show, you sudah berjaya tunjukkan, you just write shown. Okay? Alright, sudah siap. Okay, let's do the last question. Soalan C, I will do it here. So they say ln 1 over x equals to 3. Give the answer correct to 4 significant figure. So what is this? ln, ln. Ln means log base e. Okay, log base e. And what is e? E is a number. It's 2.7, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So it's actually a number. So if you look at your calculator, actually there's a button for ln, ln. Okay, beside the log button, right? But this question, you will not use the ln button. You will use the shift ln button because you're trying to find x. So ln 1 over x equals to 3, right? So when you have log something base something equals to something, you will always do anti-log. Right? That's how you always do it, right? If you have log something base something equals to something, you always do anti-log. You always pindah the log base to the other side and then continue from there. So you do the same. So ln is same with log base e. So if you think it's confusing, just write like this: log e 1 over x equals 3, and then log something base something equals to something. Yeah, do anti-log. So 1 over x. When you pindah the log base to the other side, it will become the number base. So it becomes e, and then the 3 becomes power already. And how to find x? Okay, this x you can pindah atas. When you pindah atas, x jadi darab, and then the e power 3 you can pindah ke bawah jadi bahagi. It means these two can tukar tempat. Okay, darab jadi bahagi. Bahagi jadi darab, darab jadi bahagi. So now you just have to press all this, right? And your answer will be an ugly answer one, because they already say give in 4 significant figure. So tekan 1 divide. Okay, if you want to tekan e, you have to tekan shift ln. Then dia keluar simbol E and then tekan kuasa 3 lah. Okay, I sudah dapat 0.0. Okay, write in 4 significant figure. So 4979. Actually, it's 4978, but the next digit is 7. So plus 1 jadi 79 lah. So this is the meaning of 4 significant figure. Kalau dia mau 4 significant figure, this is the answer lah. The 0 in front, we don't count it as significant figure. I hope you know that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 significant figure. Okay, sudah siap. Ini jawapan dia. Okay. Alright, I'm at question 10 now. So let's read the question. A participant in the mathematics quiz answered 40 multiple choice question such that each question has 4 choice, one of which is correct. So yeah, for multiple choice punya soalan memang macam tu, ada A, B, C, D, but there's only one is correct lah. Okay, the participant knew the answer to 35 questions and guessed the answers to the remaining questions. Assume the participant answered the 35 known questions correctly. A, find the probability that the participant guessed all the answers correctly. Okay, so it means that for the first 35 question, he know the answer and he very confident. He know he's correct for the 35 question. It means out of 45, the 35 question is confirmed correct already. 35 is confirmed correctly. He already know the answer, right? But then the remaining question, he only guessed the answers. So remaining question, how many questions? Five. This one he guessed. Okay. So the 35 confirmed correct, but the remaining five he guessed. So it means the 35, the five questions here, he not sure. He maybe he can get it correct, maybe he get it wrong. Don't know. Okay, now we can do A. Find probability that the participant guess all the answers correctly. Okay, the 35 confirmed correct already, so we don't have to look at that. We only find the calculate for five correct. So how to find the probability of guessing five correct? Okay, the probability of one correct is 1/4 because there's four choices, or for every question got four choice, but only one is correct, right? It means the probability of getting one correct question is 1/4. Okay. So if you guess the how to say, in exam, if you guess ABCD, if you guess, you how to say, you main tembak macam tu, the probability of getting it correct is only 1/4. 25% lah. 25%. Right? But what is the probability that he guessed all these five correct? It will be 1/4 times 1/4 times 1/4 five times. So you can just take 1/4 power 5. It'll be faster, right? You know why, right? Why power 5, right? Because got five question ma. So it's like 1/4 times 1/4 times lah. Okay. Okay, so the answer is 1/1024. So this is the answer for A. Okay, for B, estimate the number of questions correctly answered by the participant and explain your answer. Okay, we already know 35 confirm correct already. It's just that this five he guessed. So can you estimate the number out of the five guess? How many he will get it correct? Six only. Eh, one only. Okay, why I cakap macam tu is because out of the five guessing, the probability of five correct is 1/1024, right? It means it means out of the five questions, okay, out of the five questions, five is the total, right? But the probability of getting correct is 1/4. So you take 5 times 1/4 lah. Because when you do that, you will get the number of questions he guessed correctly. You can get the number of questions he guessed correctly out of the five questions. So you tekan this, you get 1.25. So do you understand what I mean by that? It means out of the five questions that he guessed, but since the probability of guessing correctly is only 1/4, so you take 1/4 times 5 to estimate like how many he will get it correct if he guessed all the five questions. So the answer is 1.25. Okay, so it's like roughly only one question he will get it correct out of the five question, right? One question only. Because the 0.25 you don't count it, right? Yeah, it means that the extra 0.25 you don't count it. So it's like you can only get one correct if you guess for the five questions. So what is the number of questions he correctly answered? It will be 35 plus 1, 36. Yeah, it will be 36 questions, right? Because 35 he confirmed correctly. And then for these five questions, we estimate the number is you only can correct one question because of the probability 1/4. So 36 questions. Okay. All right. Sudah siap? Okay, soalan 11A. Okay, they say the cards labeled with 7 consonant letters and 5 vowel letters placed on a table. So 7 consonant. Consonant means like the letters like B, C, D, F, G, all the letters except A, E, I, O, U lah. And then 5 vowel letters is the A, E, I, O, U. So 5 vowels. Okay. Okay, so total got 12 letters. 7 plus 5, 12. Okay, so A, question 1. Find the number of ways to choose 10 letters if the number of consonant must be equal to the number of vowels. So the arrangement is not important here. The order is not important because you are only choose. The keyword here is choose. So you just use combination, use C. Don't use P, just use C. So you want to choose what? Number of consonant equal to the number of vowel. You are choosing 10, right? You're choosing 10. So if you want the number of vowel and number of consonant to be same, be equal, then it means you have to choose 5 consonant and 5 vowel lah. So out of 7, you want to choose 5, so 7C5. Out of 5 vowel, you choose 5, so 5C5, and then just times. Okay, if you press this, you will get the answer. So 21. Okay. Okay, let's do question 2. So question 2 says the number of possible arrangement if all 12 letters need to be arranged in a circle such that the vowels are in separate arrangement. So the vowel must be separate. Okay, we know that there's 5 vowels. So if you want them to separate, it means cannot have 2 vowels together or 3 vowels together. memang cannot have vowels side by side lah. So what I will do now is they got say arrange in a circle, so I'll draw a circle. And there should be how many slot? There should be 12 slot, right? But let's ignore how many slot first. Yeah, we ignore got how many slot first because they said vowel must be separate. It means we will fix the consonant position first. So we have 7 consonant. So I will write here C1, C2, but make sure there's a gap between them, right? C3, and make sure there's a gap, C4, C5, C6, C7, right? So the number of ways to put in the consonant inside 7, because you have 7 consonant and you want to arrange them in the circle, right? The number of ways would be 7 minus 1 factorial. Because for circular permutation, the formula is n factorial divide n, or you can also use n minus 1 factorial. This is the formula when you want to arrange in a circle. Okay. You can use this one also can. You want to use this one also can. It's the same. Okay. Okay, but I use the n minus 1 factorial lah. So that's why it's 7 minus 1 factorial. It means the number of ways to arrange 7 consonant in a circle is 7 minus 1 factorial. But then they said 5 vowel, but they have to be separate, right? So let's count got how many gap in between them. So I'll use red color. So we have 1 gap, 2 gap, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this 7 gap, we will choose 5 vowel to arrange inside this 5. You understand, right? Means there's only 12 slot. Yeah, there's only 12 empty spot. But since all 7 is already filled with consonant, so the remaining gap here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And out of this 7, we can only fit 5 more. Yeah, because total there's only 12 slot. So understand, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, and then P5. All right. And we do it like this is because they want the vowels to be separate. That's why we have to count the gap in between. Yeah, because if you don't put it in the gap, then the vowels will be together and it's wrong already. If I want the vowels to be in separate arrangement, I need to make sure I put it in the gap between the consonant. You understand, right? Makes sense, right? Because you want the vowels to be separate. So this is the correct way to do it. And if you press this in your calculator, you will get the answer. So 6P6 times 7P5. So the answer is 1814400. Okay, I know in the schema, they never they do it different, right? They do it different. They okay, basically the schema they do it like this: 8 minus 1 factorial times 7P5, right? But I think the schema wrong. Yeah, I think the schema wrong. So I will stick to my answer here. Okay, yeah, because the schema did 8 minus 1, but where the 8 come from, right? Yeah, there's no 8 here, right? And also it should be 7 lah. It should be 7. I can say this confidently. I think the schema is wrong. Yeah, because it should be 7 minus 1 factorial. Okay, so let me explain one more time. 7 consonant, you want to arrange 7 consonant in a circle, so it's 7 minus 1 factorial, or you can say 7 factorial divide 7. Yeah, can also. And then the remaining 5 vowel, I have to make sure I arrange it in the gap between the consonant, in the gap, because you want it to be separate. So you just count how many gap between the consonant, and the red color is the gap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 empty gaps between the consonant, and this 7 you will choose 5 to arrange in any of these 7 gaps. So that's why it's 7P5. And then multiply them together, you get the answer. Okay, all right, hope you understand. Let's finish it. Let's do B. Find the number of password consisting of 4 letters followed by 2 digits without repetition that can be formed if the sum of digit must be 5. It means this password got how many character? Got 6 character, right? 4 letters followed by 2 digits. So let's draw 6 slot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I will draw 2 lines to separate this. Why? Because they say the first 4 character is a letter, like alphabet. So this one is letter like A, B, C, D, E until Z lah. And then the final 2 letter is just digits. So it can be like 2, 5, 3, 7, whatever. Okay, but there is a condition. The sum of digit must be 5, right? So let's talk about the first 4 letter first. The first 4 letter must be a letter, it must be an alphabet. So from A, B, C, D, E until Z got how many letter? 26. Okay, and you will choose any 4 to arrange. So it will be you have to use permutation lah, because password means the order and arrangement is important. Okay, the order is important. So you have to use permutation P, cannot use C, you have to use P. And then multiply with, okay, from here you have to fill in with digits, right? 2 digits. So we all know digit, we have 0 until 9, right? 0 until 9. Okay, but then they says the sum of digit must be 5. So I think we have to list out the combination of digit that after you plus you get 5 lah. So I think we can list it out because it's not a lot, right? There's not many it's not a lot of combination yang sum dia 5. So to make the sum 5, the combination I mean the digits here must be 0, 5, right? So if it's 0 followed by 5, the sum will be 5, or it can be 1, 4, or 2, 3, or 3, 2, or it can be 4, 1. Yeah, the sum is 5 also, or it can be 5, 0. Hey, what about 6? Okay, cannot have 6 here because if 6 here, then how can you make the sum of the two digit 5, right? Because if one of the digit is 6, then it's already more than 5 already. Okay, and you still haven't plus with the other digit. So I think this is the only combination that will make the sum 5. That can make the sum of the digits 5. So how many combinations we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 of this, so you times 6, right? Like that. Okay, so now you can press calculator. 26P4 times 6. Okay, my calculator give me 2152,800. So that is the answer. Okay, sudah siap. Ini cara dia. Okay, let's do number 12, number 12. This is a differentiation question. So they say solution by using other than calculus are not accepted. Okay, this one tak penting lah. It means they want you to use differentiation lah. Calculus means differentiation. Okay, find the small change in volume of cube when each of its sides increase from 2 to 2.02 cm. Okay, this is a differentiation question and it's under small change. Dalam bahasa Melayu, perubahan kecil. And for perubahan kecil, we will use this symbol, the delta symbol. Okay, so if you want to find small change in volume of cube means they want to find delta V volume. So this one is question mark. This is the final answer. When each of its side increase from 2 cm to 2.02 cm. So I will draw a cube. Okay, because we are talking about cube. So what happens here? They want to find small change in the volume if the side increases from 2 to 2.02 cm. So the side, you can use a unknown to represent the side. So what unknown you want to use? Any alphabet, you can use X lah. Okay? Okay, but if the side of cube is X, then all the other side will be X also because cube, all sides same length. So the X is the side now, and the side increases from 2 to 2.02. Okay, if they give you the 2 to 2.02, it means they give you the old value and the new value. So you can find the small change in X. So you will take the new value minus the old value. 2.02 minus 2 is 0.02. And when we are doing small change, we will always use the formula dy dx almost equals to delta y delta x. But for this case, I don't think it's dy dx. It should be dv dx. Yeah, dv dx equals to delta v delta x, right? It means later we have to write our own equation, and the equation must be v in terms of x, right? And don't forget the v represents volume of cube. X represents the side of cube. So any formula comes into your head, comes into your mind. How can we connect these two together? How can we connect V and X together? How can we connect volume of cube and side of cube? So the formula is V equals X power 3 lah. Because the volume of cube formula is length times space times height. So X times X like this, right? So this formula is the formula we can use to connect the V and X together. So later when we differentiate, we will get dV dx. And then for the delta V, I want to find, this is the final answer. And delta X is 0.02, right? And then the dV dx, I do myself here, and then later I sub inside. Okay. Okay, when you differentiate dV dx, you will get 3x power 2. But don't sub first, because you have to ganti nilai X dalam dulu. And the nilai X, you should always ganti with the old value of X. Always ganti with the old value of X. So it's 2. So ganti 2. And then 2 squared is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And then the 12 can put inside here. And now you can find delta V. 12 times 0.02. You will get the answer. 6/25. Or you can write in decimal lah. Okay, this jawapan, the decimal answer tak ada banyak-banyak decimal place. So I'll just write in decimal lah. So this is the answer. Okay, done. Let's do B. Dania tried to find the first derivative of this by using the first principle, but was unable to continue her work. So you only do halfway only, and then help Dania answer the question. So I just have to continue from where she sangkut lah. So she only do until here, right? So I'll just continue from here. Okay, first of all, you need to know what is first derivative. Okay, actually when you differentiate, the easy method is what? So x squared minus 2x minus 3, when you dy dx, the easy method is you just differentiate, take the power times with the number before, and then power minus 1. So 2 times 1 is 2, and then power minus 1, 2x. And when you differentiate negative 2x, you get negative 2. And then when you differentiate number, you get 0. So this is the answer, right? But they want you to use first derivative method. The first derivative method is not like this. It's not like this. It's different one. Is you have to change the y to y plus delta y. The x have to change to x plus delta x, and then the y have to replace with this. So the part that Dania got stuck is this part. The y actually she should sub with this, right? So the next step is to sub the y is this. So let me just show you. So it becomes x squared minus 2x minus 3 plus delta y, and then the rest all just salin saja. X squared plus 2x bracket delta x plus delta x squared minus 2x minus 2 delta x minus 3. And then the next step is to potong. Wait. Actually, I shouldn't mention this first. For first derivative method, there is a formula you need to know. I forgot to mention this. The dy dx is equals to limit delta x approaching 0 for delta y over delta x. Yeah, when you do first derivative method, you have to know this. The dy dx will equals to limit delta x approaching 0 for delta y delta x. It means you have to get your delta y or delta x answer, and then if your answer for delta y delta x, if your answer got delta x, sub 0. That's what it means. Okay, because when you do that, you will get the answer for dy dx. Okay, so now remember, your job is to find delta y or delta x. But actually, when you sub the y inside here like this, you can potong already. X squared minus x squared, you see, can potong. Negative 2x plus 2x also can potong. Negative 3 plus 3 also can potong. So you left with delta y. But don't forget, you want delta y over delta x. So how? Delta y, okay, try to find delta x from here. You can see you only left with 3 terms, and all 3 terms have delta x. So you should factorize out the delta x, so that later you can pin out the delta x to here, then you get your delta y delta x, and then you just sub your delta x equals 0 from in the other side. Okay, so let's factorize first. So you left with 2x. Okay, what is delta x squared divide delta x? You're left with delta x, because you already factorized out 1 delta x, so you left with 1 delta x. Negative 2 delta x, what happens if I take out the delta x? You're left with negative 2. Okay, now you get your delta y over delta x. Just pin out this one here, and then you get 2x plus delta x minus 2. And now it's time to use this formula. You already get your delta y delta x. Now it's time to find the dy dx. The formula is limit delta x approaches 0 for delta y over delta x. So your delta y delta x answer is this. And if your answer got delta x, just sub 0. So it becomes 2x plus 0 minus 2. And the answer come out already. 2x minus 2. And you realize that this answer is the same with the answer if you do it the normal way, right? So this is the normal way, you get the same answer also. Okay, but they already said they want to use first derivative method. That's why you have to do it like this. Okay, sudah siap? Okay, now we can do bahagian B. Bahagian ini mengandungi 3 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, I will do all 3 questions. Because I'm doing this video for revision purpose, so I will do all 3 questions. But in the exam, you only choose 2 for this bahagian. Okay, number 13A, by using completing the square, express this thing in this form. Okay, when you see bracket square like this, it means vertex form. When you nampak macam ada bracket square macam ni, it means they want you to change to vertex form. And how you change? You have to use completing the square. They even mention it to you here already. By using completing square. And then they say find the range of fx, right? Okay, let me tell you how the vertex form looks like. The vertex form looks like this. Fx equals to x plus p or minus p, can be whatever lah, and then plus q. So this is how the vertex form looks like, right? Can you see this form is very similar to this form? What's the difference? The difference is that the q they write in front. The q they write first. And then also another difference is they already tell you the a here. Okay, actually there's a here, I forgot to write. Yeah. So this one, the a, they already tell you is negative already. Alright? Okay. Okay, but yang awak kena tahu is you have to do completing the square lah. Right? So let's do completing the square now. I will write my working here. So first thing is write down your equation in general form. Negative x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay. Yeah, just arrange a bit. So how to change to vertex form? Do completing the square. But when you do completing the square, you need to make sure your a has to be positive 1. And if it's not positive 1, you can't do completing the square. So now it's negative. So you should factorize out the, means you have to divide negative 1. It means you have to tukar tanda. So when you take out the negative, you left with x squared plus 6x minus 8. Just tukar tanda saja. Just change the sign. And then now you have to write negative big bracket, negative big bracket. Okay, why you have to use big bracket is because now you will do completing the square. When you do completing the square, you have to open a small bracket. So that's why you use big bracket now. So it becomes x squared plus 6x. And when you do completing the square, you have to plus bracket square here. And then minus 8 minus bracket square like this. And then close the big bracket. This big bracket is very important. Ini kurungan besar sangat penting because later at the end you have to take the negative and then expand inside. You have to darab masuk. And if you don't put the big bracket, later you will forget to expand and then wrong already you answer. Okay, so this is the correct way to write it. Okay, what we have to write inside this small bracket? B over 2. That's the formula, B over 2. And if you want to know the B, you just refer beside here. So the B is the number before X. So 6 over 2, 6 over 2, right? And after you reach here, you continue. Okay, the next step is you have to ignore the 6X. You have to ignore this middle one. You only focus at this and this. Only focus at the X square and the 6 over 2 square. So what you will do now is you will open the bracket and they both have square, right? So square, square, you letak luar. And then what you write inside here, X. Okay, X tulis dalam, square tulis luar. And then what about this one? 6 over 2 tulis dalam, square tulis luar. So 6 over 2 tulis dalam, but 6 divided 2 is 3, right? So 3 tulis dalam, square tulis luar, right? And then finish already. The 6x no need to tak payah tengok. The 6x just cover. Okay, and then continue. What's next? Negative 8 minus, okay, 6 over 2 is 3, right? But this time you have to square. Just now you don't need to square because the square you already write outside the bracket. But this one you have to square. So 3 square is 9 like this and then tutup bracket. Okay, negative 8 dengan negative 9 boleh buat. So buat yang tu dulu. But the big bracket still have to write. I told you already, the big bracket sangat penting. This big bracket very important. Negative 8 minus 9 is negative 17. Okay, and then close the big bracket. Okay, now you have to look at the big bracket. So the negative, you have to expand inside the big bracket. So when you expand, you don't have to write the big bracket anymore. And then the x plus 3 square, you will just write beside like this. So when you expand, the negative cannot go inside the bracket because this bracket got square. So when you times, when you take negative, you times inside, you just tulis luar macam tu saja, just write on the outside. It cannot go inside the bracket because this bracket got square. But the negative 17, when you time negative, you become positive 17. Okay. So this is the correct method. Okay. That is why I said the big bracket very important. Yeah, because the big bracket, last kali you have to take whatever in front, expand inside the big bracket. Okay, sudah siap. This is your vertex form. But they got mentioned they want exactly specific in this form. So let's arrange a bit. So the 17 is, they want you to write in front here. So, okay, just follow. And then minus x plus b square. So x plus 3 square. So you can see my answer is same with what they want here already, right? But actually, I want you to know the vertex form. We will write like this. This is the vertex form, right? But since they want it to, what happened? Okay, but they want us to write like this, so I just follow. Okay, so now they will say what? Hence find the range of fx. Range. So how do we find the range of fx? So we already know the equation in vertex form. So how do we find the range? Okay, from our vertex form, we can already know the shape of the graph. It's like this. The shape is look like this, like a set face, because your A is negative, right? And from vertex form, usually we can get our turning point. And if it's a set face, we call this a maximum point. So the maximum point is negative 317. Because when you take out from here, you have to cut under. So 3 jadi negative 3 and then 17, right? And what else we know? I think that's all right. This is the only thing we know. So what is the range of fx? So I think the fx, the range must be like this, right? But this line, it will keep going down. It will never stop. It will keep going until infinity one. So they want range of fx, I guess is fx smaller than 17. Smaller or equal 17, right? Why is because the y coordinate of the highest point is 17, right? And there's nothing atas. There's no graph. It means this is how the graph looks like. There's nothing up here. There's nothing. So I think the range is 17 or 17 onwards or lesser than 17. Okay, it means all your graph happening at 17 or below. 17 or below. So it's smaller or equal 17. Yeah, so this is the answer. Okay. Okay, let's do B. So B, wait, is it enough space if I do it up here? Okay, I think I'll do it up here. Okay, it is given that the quadratic function, this one, you see bracket square again. So vertex form confirm. So this is vertex form. So for vertex form, you can usually baca you punya, you can take out the turning point from your vertex form. Okay, but let's see what they want. Where A is bigger than 0. So A is positive means later your shape is like a happy face. Has a negative discriminant value. Discriminant means B square minus 4AC. And what happens if your B square minus 4AC is negative? Smaller than 0 means negative. It means your curve has no roots. No roots. No roots means the x-axis will not touch your curve. Your curve does not touch the x-axis. Yeah, no roots. Okay, now they say sketch the possible quadratic graph. Okay, I already know the shape. Yeah, the shape is like this, right? And then the turning point is this point right here, minimum. And they say negative discriminant value. So the x-axis cannot touch. So this one cannot touch, right? But they never give us the equation. The equation is not complete. Okay, but apa, let's just write the turning point because they got give us vertex form here, right? So the turning point is what? Negative m, when you take out, you will get the x coordinate, but you have to tukar tanda jadi m and then n. So the turning point is mn lah, right? But where should I draw my y-axis? We don't know, right? We don't know because we don't know whether the m and n is positive or negative, right? Okay, if m is positive value, then your y-axis is here lah. But if your m is negative, it means this is on the left side, then my y-axis has to draw here, but I don't know, right? And also the equation is not complete, right? The equation is not complete, so there is no way for me to know the a, b, and c for the equation. Okay, if they give me the b value, I can then I know where should I put the y-axis, but they never give me. So how okay, I know the schema, they actually terima. Yeah, the schema, I know the schema answer, they draw both, right? Like they letak satu dekat on the left, satu on the right. So I think maybe they accept both lah. They accept if you put it on the left, or they also accept if you put it on the right, because we don't know. We don't know whether it's left or right. So I think we just cincai letak je lah. Just I just angkat just letak sini lah. And then this one I just call it fx, right? And then what about the y-intercept, the x-intercept? Okay, the one all cannot find because the equation not complete. So this is like as best as I can do it already. This is like only like tak ada benda saya boleh cari. Like even the y-intercept also I can't find it, right? Because when you find y-intercept, you have to ganti x kosong, right? So if you ganti x kosong, okay, let's ganti lah. Let's ganti lah. Okay, 0 minus m negative m square is positive m square. So you get a m square plus n, right? So the y-intercept here is a m square plus n. But it's like you can't find it lah because you don't have the mn, you don't have the a, right? Wait, let's try again. X0, x minus no, 0 minus m, negative m square, positive m square, so positive a m square plus n. So yeah, okay lah, I think this is good enough already. It's only worth 2 marks. Yeah, so sketch the quadratic graph. Yeah, this one sketch. Okay, let's continue. Soalan C. Find the range of values of x for 1 minus x squared plus 2x bigger or equal 17 by using number line method. Okay, this question is under quadratic inequality. Quadratic inequality. You learn this in 2.1. 2.1, you learn about quadratic equation and quadratic inequality. This one is inequality. Okay, but the method is a bit different with quadratic equation. Quadratic equation, you can solve it using the calculator method or the completing the square ataupun the what is it? The quadratic formula, right? But for quadratic inequality, student usually tak pandai buat because the method is a bit different. For quadratic inequality, got 3 methods. Okay, for quadratic inequality, got 3 methods. First is the graph sketching method, graph sketch method, and then you have the table method, and then you have the number line method, right? And usually, if the question never say which method, we will use the graph sketching method because this is the easiest way to do it, and it's very fast. You can get the answer very easily if you use the graph sketching method, right? But if the question got mentioned, they want table method or number line method, then you cannot choose lah. Like for example, this question they said number line, so I don't think you can choose. You have to follow lah. So let me show you how to do the number line method. Okay, first let's look at the question first. 1 minus x squared, this one can expand, right? So expand. 1 square is 1. 1 times negative x times 2. So negative 2x. And then negative x squared is positive x squared. This is how you expand, right? 1 square, and then 1 times negative x times 2, negative x square. Ini cara betul untuk expand. And then plus 2x bigger or equal 17. Oh, I forgot to mention. Doesn't matter which method you use, you should always find your x first. It means even if you use the graph sketching method or the table method, you will also do the same working until you get your x answer. It means like the first few steps is always the same. Doesn't matter which method you use. So so I haven't start the number line method now. Okay, saya belum buat lagi number line method. Sekarang I just try to find x first. So other square means general form, everything on one side equals 0. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 1 minus 17 minus 16 bigger equals 0. And I'm trying to find x, right? So you can make the 16 jadikan 4 square. Kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I know a square minus b square. You can open two bracket, becomes a minus b, a plus b. Okay, this is the factorization identity. So that's why I try to make it like this. Supaya saya punya x square minus 4 square boleh buka two bracket. X minus 4, x plus 4. And then bigger or equal 0. And now you can find your x. But be careful, don't write bigger 4. Just write equal. Here you have to write equal. X equals 4, x equals negative 4. Okay. Cannot write bigger. You have to write equal. Okay. After you write like this, now you can use the number line method. Okay. Okay. If you use the graph sketching method, how? If you use the graph sketching method, you just graph sketch graph, and then negative 4, 4, and then you kalau bigger you sketch here, and then the answer is this one lah. Negative 4, x bigger 4, right? So it's very simple. This is the answer. Okay. But if you use number line method, then you have to, then you cannot do like that already. But even if they want you to use the table method or the number line method, you still have to do until here first. Yeah, you have to do this first, right? Doesn't matter which method you use, you kena buat sampai sini dulu. Okay, now I will start explaining the number line method. Okay, the number line method looks like this. You draw a line. Okay, that's why it's called number line method. Okay, because you need to draw a line. Okay, so draw a line and draw a line, and then after drawing a line, you will divide the line into two like this. Put potong dua line macam ni. So you have three portion, and then you look at the x answer, negative 4 and 4, right? So negative 4, the small number you write here, and then the big number you write here. Okay, and then you will write down all the region here. So can you tell me this region is for region for what? So this region is negative 4 before negative 4, right? So it's like negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. So all the number that is smaller than negative 4 is here. So this region represents x smaller than negative 4. Okay, the line, kalau soalan ada line, you should put the line also. Okay, yeah, just follow the soalan, right? And then what about this region? This one, 4 got 5, 6, 7, so it's like bigger equals 4, right? And then this region is in between, so the in between region will be like this. This is how you write in between. The small number have to write first, and then the last number is the big number like this, right? And now what you have to write up here, okay, for the number up here, you have to choose any number that is smaller than negative 4 to sub inside the equation, right? So let me show you x smaller than equal negative 4. So what number is smaller or equals negative 4? Negative 5, right? Or you want to choose negative 6, negative 7, negative 10, whatever you want. Just choose any number that is smaller than negative 4. And then what you need to do, you have to sub this inside this equation, inside here. Okay? Actually, you want to sub inside here, can also. Okay? It's the same one. Because this one come from here, right? So you want to sub here also can. You want to sub here also can. Alright? But I think it's easier if I sub into this one. Because it's already, because if you sub here, you only need to sub x one time only. But if you sub here, you have to letak x dua kali, right? Okay lah, but can also it's the same result one. Okay, but let's set into this one lah, x square minus 16. So it becomes bracket square minus 16, which is negative 5 square minus 16. 25 minus 16 is 9, which is positive. So this is positive. It means we don't care about the answer. We only care about whether it's positive or negative, right? Okay, let's do the same thing here. Okay, choose any number between negative 4 and 4. So I will choose 0 lah. But you can choose any number you want, like 1, 2, 3, or negative 1, whatever. Okay, but I choose 0. So 0 square minus 16, which is negative 16, which is negative. I repeat one more time. We don't care about the answer. We only care about positive or negative. Okay. Okay, the next one is x equals, okay, what's bigger than 4? Let's use 5. So it'll be 5 square minus 16, which is 9, and positive, right? Okay, after I do all this, now we can look at the symbol. Yeah, the sign, right? So do you realize they want the x square minus 16 to be bigger than 0? It means they want this left side to be positive. Bigger than 0 means positive. So can you tell me which region just now when you sub, you get answer positive? Which region? This region and this region, right? It means the answer is x smaller than -4, x bigger than 4. And you can see the answer is same with the answer. When I do graph sketching method just now also, I get the same answer. Okay. So this is the answer lah. So this is the number line method. Okay. This is how you do the number line method. Okay. Okay. The table method, I won't explain it. Okay. I don't want, okay lah, I'll just explain a bit lah. Table method is like you draw table and then here you write down all the possible answer. X smaller -4 and then x in between and then x bigger than -4 and then here you put in the bracket x minus 4 and then x plus 4 and then this one is combined 2 and you also sub see whether you get positive or negative and then blah 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 and then take the positive one and then take this one macam tu lah. I don't want to go into detail lah because I don't want to drag this video for so long, but yeah, the table method I just explain roughly briefly lah, so it's like that. Okay, this question asks for number line method, so I will just go through the number line method with you. Okay, so sudah siap, right? Okay, let's do 14. So 14a, it says given f theta equals to 5 sine x theta plus y for theta in between 0 to 360 and the period of graph is 180. Okay, I think this is a trigonometry question. Yeah, trigo. And they are asked about the graph, right? So this is the sine graph equation. So we all know the sine graph equation always look like this. A sine bx plus c, right? And the A will be the amplitude, right? Or you can say the maximum or minimum value, right? So I'll just write here amplitude, okay? And then the B determines the period, okay? Or I will just write here number of cycle in 360, number of cycle in 360 degree. And there is a formula. The period formula is 360 over B. Okay. So for example, if the B is 2, it means sine 2x, right? It means that the period is 360 divided 2, which is 180. And what is period? Period is the horizontal length for one cycle. Okay. So if the B is 2, it means there should be 2 cycles in 360 and the period is 180. Okay. And what is period? Period is uh the horizontal length for one cycle. Okay. Yeah lah, because if it's 2x, then the horizontal length for one cycle will be 180 lah. For one cycle ma. That's why in 360 there's 2 cycle. Then the B is 2 like that. Okay, the C is just, if the C is positive, then your graph have to shift up, move up, and if your C negative, you have to move down like that, right? Okay, they say here the period of graph is 180. So the B must be confirmed 2 already. Because of this formula, 180 equals 360 over B, and then you continue here, B is equals to 2, right? So later this number right here, this x right here is 2. Okay, is 2. Okay, and then it says the minimum value of f theta is -1. State the value of x and y. Okay, the x I already know is 2, but how to find the y? Okay, the y is referring to this, right? So I want to ask you something. If the minimum value is -1, it means this graph got moved up or moved down? Got moved up. Okay, got moved up. You know why? Because if you look at the A value here, it's 5. 5 will be the amplitude, right? And if the A is 5 means the graph maximum value should be 5 and -5. Okay, 5 and -5. That's the maximum and minimum value. But they mention here that the minimum value is -1. It means the minimum value is not -5. It changed to -1. It means that the whole graph got moved up. But move up how many units? 4 units. Because -5, when you plus 4, you will get -1. So it means the C value here must be +4 because you already moved up 4 units. Okay, it means that the Y here is 4 lah. So the answer here will be okay, B equals to 2. So I should write X equals to 2, right? Because X is the B, so B is 2. And then the Y will be 4 because the whole graph moved up plus 4. Okay. Okay, if your C is 0, then your maximum and minimum value will be 5 and -5. Understand, right? Because you never move up, you never move down. So the maximum and minimum value will be 5 and -5, right? But if the maximum value is like 6, and then this one is like -4, it means that your graph got moved up or moved down lah, right? Yeah, it means your C is not 0. Okay. But if it's like 7, -7, 2, -2, 3, -3, then confirm the C is 0 one. Confirm. Confirm the number here must be 0. But if it's like like 2, -1 ataupun 3, -5, it means like the distance here and the distance here not same one, then you know this graph got moved up or moved down. Okay, hope you understand. Let's do B. Okay, B, they ask us to sketch the graph of y equals cos 2x. Okay, this graph is very easy to sketch. Okay, so I will just sketch it right away later. But they got say they only want you to draw from 0 until 3 pi over 2. 3 pi over 2 means 270 degree, right? So later I don't have to draw until 360 lah. Okay, so the extra part I will just erase it later. Okay, on the same axis, sketch a suitable straight line, find number of solution for this equation, hence state the number of solution. Okay, this type of question is very common one lah in SPM. Okay, they ask you to sketch the trigo graph and then find number of solution. Okay, let's sketch the cos 2x first. Okay, this is very easy to sketch. So you can see that the A is 1, nothing here means 1. So the maximum minimum value will be 1, -1. And also the C is 0. It means your graph never move up, never move down. And the B is 2. B will tell you the number of cycle in 360. So cos 2x means I have to draw 2 cos graph in 360. Okay, so let me draw the axis first. So the y-axis is like this. The x-axis will be right in the middle. Okay, and the maximum value will be 1 and -1. Okay, so like this, and then like this. Okay, let me make this higher. So this one 1, so lebih kurang macam ni. Okay, for the x-axis, it will be 90, 180, 270, 360. Okay, I know the question says want you to draw until 3 pi over 2, 270 only, right? But I recommend you draw until 360 first, right? Otherwise, later you might erase the wrong part of the graph. Okay, so I recommend you do for 360 first. Okay, later last kali baru you padam. So this one is pi over 2, 90 ma. This one is pi, this one is 3 pi over 2, this one is 2 pi. Okay, and this is x, this is y. Okay, now it's time to draw the cos 2 graph, right? Okay, if cos x, the point will be like this. Okay, I hope all of you know this, right? If cos x lah, this is how the graph looks like. This is the coordinate. Okay, when it's 90, it will be 0. That's why cos 90, you get 0 lah. Cos 90 is 0, cos 180 is -1, cos 270 is 0, cos 360 is 1, right? But when it's cos 2x, all these points will get pushed back. Why you have to push back is because your B is 2 now. It means the period later will be 180. What is period? I explained just now, right? Period is the horizontal length for one cycle, right? Because now you have to draw 2 cos graph in 360. It means that this point, this graph have to be compressed. It has to be compressed, and all these points will get pushed back in this direction. But when you push it back, where it becomes? It will become it has to divide 2 lah. So let me show you. Let me erase. Let me erase this first. Okay, so you can see that this point will get pushed back, but where it will push until where? It will push until here. Okay, and you know why, right? It's because 90 divide 2 is 45. 90 divide 2 is 45. Okay, and then this one is 180. When you push back, you will get 90. Same reason, because it's divide 2. And then this one can erase already. This one can erase it. Okay. Same thing. What happens when you push back this point? You divide 2 also. 270 divide 2 is, okay, what's 270 divide 2? Let me think. 270 divide 2, 135. And 135 is 90 and 180 exactly middle here, right? So this is, it means this point when you push back, it becomes here, right? And then we can erase this. And finally, we have our this point. So this point is at 360, right? So when you push in this direction, what happens? You divide 2, right? And what is 360 divide 2? 2 pi divide 2 is pi. So this is how it looks like now, right? And then this one, of course, you can erase it. All right. Why I never change the position of this point is because this point is at 0. Yeah, it's at 0. So when you take 0 divide 2, you get 0. So that's why this point never change. Okay. Okay, after you bought sampai sini, you realize that when you join this graph, you realize what happens? You realize that you finish one cos graph at pi. Okay, by the time you reach pi, you already finish one cos graph. So what you can do is can just repeat one more time, complete the cos 2x, right? That's why I have to push back all the points, right? Okay, the next point will be here. Okay, yeah, it will be here. Okay, and then it will be like this, it will be like this, it will be like this, right? It means you just copy and paste the same thing lah here, right? So it will look like this. Okay, yeah, so this is the answer for y equals cos 2x. But wait, they want you to draw until 3 pi over 2 only. So where is 3 pi over 2? Here, right? So I'll draw a line here and then erase this. Okay, okay, so let's erase all the extra part. Okay, why I said erase last kali is because if you if okay, kalau you masa you lukis ini graph, if when you are drawing the graph, when okay, how to explain this? If you are looking at this range when you are doing the graph, you will get confused easily because you will keep thinking about the 3 pi over 2 and you might mess up the coordinate later, right? That's why it's better to draw until 2 pi first. Because we all sudah biasa already, we all used to it already, we all used to drawing for 2 pi already. So just draw for 2 pi first, last kali baru you padam lah. Okay, to avoid careless mistake. Okay, so let me erase the extra part. Okay, so be careful, don't erase too many. So this is how it looks like. Because some student they might go and erase this also, right? Or maybe like they 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 they, they thought like this. Wrong also lah. It should be like this. Okay, so this is the answer. So I'll just write here y equals cos 2x. Okay, so that's it. Now it says on the same axis, sketch a suitable straight line. So I have to sketch a straight line now to find number of solution for this equation. Hence, take the number of solution. Number of solution means number of intersection point. But first, we have to draw the straight line first. But you cannot simply draw the straight line. You need to get the equation of straight line first. And the equation of straight line will always be y equals mx plus c. But if you look at the equation they gave us, don't even have, it doesn't look like y equal mx plus c, right? Does this look like y equal mx plus c? No, right? This equation don't even have y, right? Dia tak ada y pun. So how to make it into equation of straight line? Your job is to make it so that it has y. You kena jadikan supaya equation ni ada y. Okay, so that's my job now, is to make this equation ada y. But sir, how to make this equation ada y? Senang je. Kan di sini sudah cakap y equals cos 2x. And if you realize your equation memang ada cos 2x, so boleh masuk y terus lah. So it becomes 6x over pi plus 4 times cos 2x, and y is equals to cos 2x, so 4y equals 3. So now it becomes the equation of straight line. We just have to arrange it into y equals mx plus c. So 4y equals to negative 6x over pi plus 3, and then divide 4, which is negative 3x over 2 pi plus 3 over 4. And there you have it. This is the equation of straight line. You can see it's y equals mx plus c, right? Okay, now you can find points for the straight line and then plot here and then draw the straight line. Okay, when you find point, usually I like to find when x 0. So 0, when you up this whole thing becomes 0 lah. So your y is 3 over 4. So let's plot this point 0, 3 over 4. So this is 0, this is 1. Okay, where's 3 over 4? Okay, you can potong here, you can potong tiga line here. Yeah, potong tiga line. So 1, 2, 3. Try to make it like lebih kurang same length. Okay, like try to make it like lebih kurang sama panjang lah. Okay, so why I potong 3 line is because I want 3 over 4. It means I need to have 4 portion here, 4 section. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you understand why I potong tiga line. So when you potong tiga line, you will have 4 potongan here. And the first potongan is 1 over 4 lah. And then this one will be 2 over 4 lah. This one will be 3 over 4 lah. And this one will be 4 over 4, which is 1. And the 0, 3 over 4 will be exactly here. Okay. Okay, now I need to find another point so that I can join them together. So which point you want to use? I recommend don't use 2 pi. Because if you use 2 pi later, you don't have 2 pi in your how to say, in your axis, right? So you can't plot that point. So you can choose what? Maybe you can choose pi, right? Maybe you can choose pi. So when you choose pi, what happens? The x have to sub pi, and then the pi potong, you left with negative 3 over 2 plus 3 over 4. And you can use your calculator to press this. Negative 3 over 2 plus 3 over 4. Okay, my calculator give me negative 3 over 4. So therefore, your point is pi negative 3 over 4. So pi is here. Okay, negative 3 over 4, you have to go down. And you will do the same thing like just now. You potong tiga line macam ni, so that you have 4 potongan here. 1 over 4, 2 over 4, 3 over 4, 4 over 4. So since I want pi negative 3 over 4, it must be here. But don't plot here, plot at pi. So this is the answer, right? Okay, now the only thing left to do is to join this. So when I join it, then okay, but I should join until 3 pi over 2 also, right? Yeah, because this is the range. So I also join until here only, right? Okay, so this is the equation of straight line. Okay, I think this cos 2x equation I will erase. Okay, I will write up here. Yeah, because it's confusing if I write down there, because later I might confuse with the straight line. Okay, for the straight line equation, I'll write here. So what's the equation? This one, right? So y equals negative 3x over 2 pi plus 3 over 4. Okay, now done already. Now it's time to write down the NOS, the number of solution. So the number of solution is the number of intersection points. So 1 intersection point, 2 intersection point. So the NOS is 2. You don't have to find out the coordinate. You don't have to write down the coordinate for the intersection point. Because they never ask you to find the solution. They just want the number of solutions saja. Just the bilangan solution. Bilangan jawapan. So berapa bilangan jawapan? Dua saja. It means dia tak ada suruh you cari jawapan lah. Dia suruh cari bilangan jawapan saja. So the bilangan jawapan is 2 lah. Okay. So this is how I would do it. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, this is the last question, number 15. Let's finish it. I think this is an indices log question. Yeah, because I see square root and then I see indices here. Yeah, I think it's an indices log question. Okay, so soalan A, I will do it up here lah. Okay, this is 81 square root 3 square root 27 equals 9 power k. Find value of k. Okay, how to do this question? Okay, whenever I see square root, I always tell my student change to power 1 over 2. Yeah, change to power 1 over 2. Okay, if you think it's confusing, just change to power 1 over 2. And also, you can't square root 27, right? If you can't square root 27, your calculator, they give you like decimal one. Because 27 is not a perfect square, right? So it's better to change to power 1 over 2, right? So when you change to power 1 over 2, what will happen? It will become 81 times with, okay, you can see this square root is for the 3 and the square root 27. So I will put a bracket like this, and this square root outside, I will write power 1 over 2 on the outside like this. And then dalam here, I have to write 3 times square root 27, which is 27 power 1 over 2. Understand, right? Let me erase and explain again. This square root, I write it outside the bracket. And then the 3 square root 27, they are times relation. So I write inside like this, right? Equals to 9 power k. Okay, now what you can do is you can, this power 1 over 2. Okay, this bracket power 1 over 2 means what? 3 have to square root, 27 power 1 over 2 also have to square root. So why not we square root now? So when you take 3 power 1 over 2, you get 3 power 1 over 2 lah. And then the 27 power 1 over 2, power 1 over 2 becomes 27 power 1 over 4. Okay? It's because when you have a power n, the power, if side by side like this, you have to times. That's why it's become 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 1 over 4 equals to 9 power k. Okay, now it looks like a normal indices question, right? But wait, can you combine these three together? Cannot, right? You can only combine when it's same base, right? Because you learn in indices, if you have a power m times a power n, if you have same base times the power, you can plus, right? We learn this in Form 4, okay? Form 4 chapter 4. Yeah. So a power n, when base same times the power plus, but now the base is not same. But is it possible to make them the same? Yes, because 81, 3, 27, these are all number that can change to base 3. So I will continue up here. 81 can change to 3 power 4. And then 3, okay, 3 is already the smallest already. You cannot change 3 to any smaller base. 27 can change to smaller base or not? Yes, can change to 3 power 3. So 3 power 3, but it becomes 3 power 3, but there's another power 1 over 4 here. And I told you, if the power side by side like this, means you have to times, right? So why not you times now? So 3 times 1 over 4 becomes 3 over 4. So let's do it fast. Straight away, write 3 over 4. And I realized on the right hand side, you can also change to base 3, right? So I will change to base 3 also. 9 is 3 power 2, but then I have to power k, right? So what is 3 power 2 power k? 3 power 2k lah. Because the 2 and k, you will times, just multiply them. So you get like this, right? So now can you combine these 3 into single base? Yes, because they are same base, and also it's times, okay, not only same base, it has to be times baru boleh. So when it's same base times, you can combine jadi single base, but the power need to plus. So it becomes 4 plus 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4, and on the right hand side is 3 power 2k. Okay, now you realize on the left hand side, on the right, your both side, already same base. You can see this side is base 3, this side is also base 3. So the base is same, right? It means that you can compare, you can banding. So when you banding compare, the base is same already, so the power will be same also. It means now I can tekan my calculator and then write 2k equals to 4 plus 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4. Let me press now. 4 plus 1 over 2 plus 3 over 4. Okay, my calculator give me 21 over 4. So this is the power. The power here is 21 over 4. And we compare lah. So the base sudah sama, the power also same one. So your k will be 21 over 4 divided to 21 over 8. Okay, so this is worth 2 marks. So yeah, this is how I would do it. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, soalan B, apa dia mau? Solution by listing is not accepted. Listing is not accepted. Okay, boleh. After T years, the price of car that was bought by Nick is 78,000, bracket 0.8 power T. So T represents years, right? Years. So it means you want to find the price of car after 2 years. It means I just sub the T is 2 and then tekan the whole thing, then I get my price after 2 years lah. That's what it means. So number 1 says determine price of car after 6 years. It means the T equals to 6 and you just sub inside and then siap already. So it becomes B1. So the answer is 78,000 bracket 0.8 power T, which is power 6. And then I just press this, then I get my calculator. Okay, in my calculator give me 20447. Okay, right, RM, this one is price. 20447.23. Okay. So write 2 decimal place lah, because this is price. Okay, second question. Find the minimum now. Okay, minimum means it has to be bigger or equals. Minimum means bigger or equals. Okay. Minimum means lebih besar atau sama dengan bigger or equals. So find the minimum number of years that it will take for the price of car to be less than 30,000. So this 30,000 is not T. You don't tell me you go and sub the T 30,000. Hey, if you sub like that, you are finding the price of car after 30,000 years. Bukan lah, ini bukan years, ini RM. So the year is actually we want to find. The T actually we don't know now. So what they give you there is not the T. This is the price actually. So instead of instead of ganti this into the T, you should take the whole thing less than this actually. So what I mean by that is you take 78,000, 0.8 power T. So this is the formula to find price of car, right? And now they want you to find T when the price of car is less than 30,000. So you take the whole thing less than 30,000 like that. Okay. Okay. Some of you might say, hey, sir, I thought just now you say minimum means bigger. Why you write less? Okay. Because they want the price less than 30,000. Okay. This minimum, you have to get your answer first. After you get your answer, then only you choose the minimum value. Understand, right? The minimum now don't tengok dulu. That one later. That one after you finish find your T, because later your T they will give you a range here one. Then you choose the minimum value. That's what it means. Okay, that's what it means. Yang less than, yang ini kena tulis less than because they want the price less than 30,000. Okay. Nanti baru kita ambil nilai minimum untuk T. Okay, now how to find T? First, you can pindah the 78,000. So 0.8 power T, and then this one move there becomes divide. So you can use your calculator. 30 divide 78. Okay, I get 5/13. Okay, if I write in decimal, it's like banyak decimal place. So I don't like. Saya tak suka tulis dalam. Saya tak suka tulis bila dia ada banyak-banyak decimal. So just write in fraction 5/13. And you realize that 0.8 and this 5/13, they cannot change to same base, right? It becomes an indices question already, right? So something power something equals something. So this is like an indices question. Tapi if you can change to same base, then you change to same base lah. But if you see got decimal fraction like this, confirm cannot change to same base already. So what you do, you have to use the log punya method. So you have to tambah log both sides, on both sides, and you use base 10. Okay. Okay, so when you tambah log, it becomes 0.8, and then the power boleh letak depan. Same here, 5/13 just become like that. Alright. And the symbol is still smaller. Okay. Yeah, the symbol is still smaller. Okay, so now T, you can find it. Just press log 5/13 divide log 0.8. Okay. Okay, if you press this, you will get 4.282. Okay, 4.282. Okay, now you have to be careful. This smaller, you have to change to bigger. Yeah, why suddenly this smaller have to flip terbalik jadi bigger? It's because you divide negative number. When you take this value, divide with negative number, you have to terbalikkan you punya symbol. Alright. So the smaller becomes bigger, right? Okay, some of you might ask me, hey sir, mana ada saya bahagi negative? I never divide negative, I divide log 0.8. Okay, if you press log 0.8 in your calculator, you press separately, you just press log 0.8 like this. Trust me, you will get negative. Because when you tekan log 0 point anything, you will get negative one. Log 0 point whatever, 0 point, as long as it's 0 point something, you tekan log, you confirm get negative one. So when you see log 0 point something, mesti keluar negative one. Okay, so that's how I know I will get negative. That's why I terbalik right? But why this one negative? But why then the answer yang keluar tadi is positive? Is because this log 5/13 is also negative. If you press this separately, you get negative also. That's why this negative divide negative, it come out for positive 4.282. Okay. But if you press it individually, if you press it separately, you will understand why I said both they are negative. Okay. Okay. Now you have to choose the minimum value. Sekarang baru you tengok ini minimum number of years. So what is the minimum number of years that we will take for the price of car less than 30,000? So 5 Yeah, 5 years Okay. If the T is bigger than 4.282 means what? It means when it's 4 years, after 4 years, the price is still not less than 30,000. Do you understand? Because the answer here says T bigger, bigger, besar, right? It means that when T is 4, the price is still more than 30,000, right? When it's 4.282, then only is less than, then only is like 30,000, right? So you have to choose after the minimum. So the minimum year will be 5 year lah. Okay, what about 6, 7, 10, 8, 9, 10, that one? Okay, that one also less than 30,000, right? But why you never choose that for your answer? Because they want minimum lah. They want minimum. So 4.282, bigger than 4.282 got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But what is the minimum? 5. So minimum it will take 5 years to get to, so that for the car to be less than 30,000 ringgit. Okay, hope you understand. Let's finish it. Number 3, starting from the 7 year and onwards, the car's value depreciates by 65%. Okay, depreciate it means like susut nilai. So what does it mean? It means it's like going, the price decrease lah. Okay, so if Nick bought the car in 2018, calculate the value of Nick's car in 2027. Okay, I remember when I do question 1 just now, they asked us to determine the price of car after 6 years, right? And then now it says the 7 year onwards, the car value depreciates 65%. So is dia tak ikut formula ni lah, maksudnya, betul lah. It means this formula only works for the first 6 years. Understand, right? Because from the 7 year onwards, the depreciate value is it cannot apply this formula already. It's different already. It's like 65%. Okay, so it's like the new value is 65% of the old value. So it said if Nick bought the car in 2018, calculate value in 2017. So how many years is that? So if you bought 2018, right? 2018 and then 2019, 2020. And if you keep going until, okay, I'll just list. Okay, they say solution by listing is not accepted, right? But I don't care. Okay, I'll just do it anyway. Okay, 2023, because I want to know, I want to explain to you lah. I want to explain to you how many years. Okay, because some of you you don't know how to count, so I want to show you. So 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027. Okay, you jangan kira macam ni you jangan kira 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't count like that. It has to be like this. Is 1 year. Make sense, right? Because you buy at 2018. It means 2019 baru start. It means when it's the T2, when it's here, then only when it's T2, then only is like 1 year, right? Like this is 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, 6 year, 7 year, 8 year, 9 year, right? So it's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, don't count like this. If you count like this, you get 10. Okay? So can you tell me, for the first 6 years, what happens for the first 6 years? So first 6 years is from here to here, right? So for the first 6 years, we already know the price. After 6 years, the price of car become this value already, right? But from the 7 year onwards, it means I already use red color. This one is the new, from the 7 year onwards, dia tak follow formula ni dah. Dia depreciate by 65%. It means the 2044 after 6 years, the price of car is 20,447.23. But I have to go from the 6 year to the 7 year, right? So from 2024 to 2025 here, this value, if you want to get the value in 2025, you have to times with 65%, because the new year punya price is like 65% of the previous year. So you have to times with 0.65 lah, it means, right? To get 2025. Then how to get 26? You times with 0.65 again. And then you times with 0.65 again, right? But so that's how you do it lah. But you can straight away write 0.65 power 3. Because you times 0.65 tiga kali, right? It means it's the same meaning as 0.65 power 3 like this. So you press this, then you get the answer already. Okay, so let me press. Okay, my calculator give me 5615.32. Okay, so that is the answer. RM, right? RM 5615.32. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, I'm done with this paper. So if you find this video useful, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next video. Bye bye.